did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
We've taken control of the oil in the Middle East, the oil that we're talking about.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create.
We choose truth over facts.
America's a nation that can be defined in a single word.
It's estimated that 200 million people will die, probably by the time I finish this talk. I agree that everybody once they in fact anyway, my time's up. America's dead.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, so you got to do some marketing, right? I mean, I guess that's a regular rough draft. I put that together in like an hour.
I like it.
I mean, I tried. You got to do something. Yeah, I know. A lot of other people are doing it. I mean, why not?
It's a good intro. I like it.
Yeah, what's up, folks? How you doing today?
Doing good, man. How are yourself?
I hate to bring up like Annika Kasparian again, but she was actually trending this time.
I almost included her in my part, and I was like, nah, I don't need to go there.
Do you notice, sorry, my charger fell out. Do you notice how she's on a weekly basis now? I noticed like the exact same stream, like last Monday, I opened up, there's Annika Kasparian's trending on Twitter right now.
But it's about the same stuff, isn't it? It's about the same
thing. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. She's digging up some shit with leftist mafia, which is not even really a leftist mafia, just like a shitlib mafia, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it.
I think she's just trying to stay relevant, because when people like Jimmy Dore say they have 5 million subscribers and they get less than 5,000 people watching their show, what's wrong with that picture? They don't.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like the Majority Report, where they have way more subscribers, but they have their average viewership.
Nobody actually watches their shit. It's
exactly.
Bots.
Subscriber count doesn't actually matter. It's mostly about average viewership.
Yeah.
It depends on what you do, whether you're a streaming or whatever. But
right.
What's up, folks? I know friends and family, and. We're here. We're back with your regular segment. I think we're calling this alternative angle. We got that set. We got that intro set up now. I'm Greg, Big Man Crab, and this here is I'm co-host friend Chris 420 all at Twitter. You can follow all our links at the bottom of the description. You should subscribe to INN, also Big Man Crab. You can stay tuned. We got plenty of shit going on throughout the week. In fact, we got Jesse Jet tomorrow. And there's actually INN News on Wednesday. And then Friday's Tara Reid. So you got a lot of content coming up. We're like a channel. We're like the PBS of Mondays at 9:30.
PBS.
So, yeah, no, you could just call us that. I mean, it's like a channel. It's like the regular hour segment. We got a lot. We got some things to, as relevant by the title. We're going through some absolute cultural bullshit today.
Yeah, I tried to kind of avoid it, but a couple things happened this week, and I think it's worth bringing up. So finally got me to go into it.
It's the very obvious. Corporate, just getaway.
I think it's interesting that the way. Well, I think it's interesting how cynical it is, but it's definitely worth getting into. So,
yeah.
It's funny.
We're popping that up with the Bob Lee Cash App murder. This is more of like an older story. We should probably like do this one first because it happened a couple of days ago, and it's probably worth just like bursting.
Definitely.
Let's do the Rutgers one last. All right, and then we'll start with this one. PBS State Media. Yeah, no, we should.
Did they get the tag yet, though?
You know how Elon Musk tags Twitter networks as like American funded media? They should
Twitter?
have they should have. Yeah, you know, like how they have like
well, it did like the NPR had like
PBS.
the state. Yeah,
he labeled PBS like state funded.
That's funny.
And I feel like they should do that with independent networks, like independent. Anyway.
Like what? The independent media, independently funded media,
independently funded, yeah, or billionaire funded. The Intercept should be billionaire funded.
Billionaire funded is like
funded Intercept. Yeah. So this
check mark.
This one's a couple days old. We're pretty much just like well, to be honest, there's like really no details on this at all. It's a little disturbing, this video, but this is basically the whatever surveillance footage they could find.
So first off, do you want to tell them story, like who this guy is?
Well, no, this is Bob Lee. He's the founder of Cash App, also owner of Mobile Coin. I think I can sort of like get into his background.
If I'm jumping the gun,
I'll connect the dots in a little bit.
Okay, that's cool. Then let's just go.
Let's just watch.
Cool.
What exactly happened to this guy?
That's so weird.
And I believe this is outside. Is this on a street?
Yeah, it was like outside a gas station, right? And it's like a pretty rich neighborhood.
Yeah, no, it's in the Bay Area of San Francisco, and I really want to get into like how much people are gaslighting about the level of crime here, because there is so little crime like compared to like Los Angeles. Especially this area, like this is like I have to show you the street view of this area. It looks
beautiful. So you think people they're exaggerating, like the news is exaggerating how much crime is here?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
They're making it sound
100%.
Like it happens all the time here.
Yeah. It's really it's really a load of bullshit. To like this is like a relatively safe. This is like one of the safest areas of San Francisco.
I would think so. Yeah,
you can get to. And you can see like now he's like at the door. He's staggering from out. I believe so. They got him like right there, right? And then he just walks up to this door. That's like happens to be right next to it. Right?
So he was like 30 feet away from there where he got stabbed. It looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. And how long? Did you see how long it took from the time he got stabbed to the time he made the phone call and like they showed up? So 2:35. Okay.
I think about a couple minutes.
So he was like bleeding out. Did they say how many times he got stabbed? I mean, not that I'm like.
I have a document pulled up with a little bit of those details.
It's just, it's crazy.
I'm trying to find I'm trying to find an original timestamp. Either way,
the thing that's like kind of strange is that like if it only took like 2 or 3 minutes, if it only took like 2 or 3 minutes for him to bleed out, and then by the time they got there, like he was like pretty much dead. Like they declared him dead on scene, right?
They took him to the hospital, and then after like once he was at the hospital, it was like over.
Okay.
So
investigators are looking for. CCTV capturing tech titan Bob Lee moments after he was stabbed early Tuesday in San Francisco. At 2:35 in the morning, the injured 43-year-old
2:35
appeared to be trying to wave down.
It's on a Tuesday in the morning.
Why was he walking around at 2:35 in the morning?
I don't know. This guy's like a CEO tech executive, and he's out at 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday.
I mean,
Like,
does that sound right to you?
It doesn't sound like nobody should be like randomly walking around by themselves at like 2:35 or on gas stations. I don't know, man. Like that just seems like not the safest thing to do. Like
Definitely
I don't
not.
know.
Definitely not.
But I don't
Definitely
know.
not.
I don't know.
Before
It's
Lee
just
comes
weird.
clearly into
Maybe he was
view
partying.
outside the doors of a condominium
Well,
complex.
no, I mean this is he literally got stabbed. I mean, listen. I think this is a really telling video. I don't know about you, but
Lee, according to the San Francisco Standard, dialed 911 and screamed, "Help, someone stabbed me."
That cell phone is a critical piece of evidence in a case like this.
San Francisco's DA, Brooke Jenkins, says detectives are looking at every angle.
When we are dealing with a case where the suspect is unknown, you are trying to interview anyone and everyone who may have had contact with the victim leading up to the time of the crime.
Lee, perhaps best known for creating the mobile payment service Cash App, was a tech icon who lived in San Francisco for years before recently moving to Miami. Police scouring the neighborhood.
Wait. So he was already living in Miami when this happened? So he was just randomly in San Francisco?
No. He was. I think he's originally from Miami.
Icon who lived in San Francisco for years.
Yeah.
Before recently moving to Miami. Police scouring the neighborhood.
I think he was going. Maybe he was going back to San Francisco.
What?
I don't know. Like here, because Mastermind. Like, listen. This guy was like he was like a family guy. Like he had like kids that he and like a.
Yeah, he was some like white collar like.
Yeah, like those guys aren't doing crack. Like Hunter Biden doesn't have a family. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if Hunter Biden had kids?
I mean, he probably does have kids. He probably does have kids.
He probably has a couple kids. They're probably. Oh my god.
They don't go by Biden.
Oh my god. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Lee knew well for any potential clues.
We are not commenting on evidence, nor will we speculate on the circumstances surrounding this horrific crime.
As San Francisco comes under scrutiny for a recent rash of crime, including a homicide,
which is a lie. It's a straight up lie.
Rate that's risen in past years, Lee leaves behind two
Wait,
children.
what's the why anyway? Like it was
that crime is like increasing in this.
But what is the why? Like the 60? What number is that? Like how many deaths per year? Like it's just a number. Like I understand 2019
I guess.
2020.
Homicide rate.
Of crime,
but what is that?
Including a homicide rate that's risen in past years.
I don't know. Maybe the average homicides per year.
Yeah, but they could. All right. I mean, maybe.
I mean, it's a news graphic that's up for like 3 seconds. So what do you?
Broken daughter who writes, "I'm devastated that somebody would be so cruel."
See, like I can't imagine this guy is doing crack. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like he's doing.
He doesn't look like crack, dude.
He does not look like he's doing drugs. I can tell you that.
Cut short in a murder that remains.
If he was doing drugs, it would be very obvious.
It's definitely. I'm like 100% positive it's not about drugs.
Yeah. So, there's some strange things.
You don't become a CEO of Cash App by doing crack.
And I'm not.
You become a board member of an oil company.
Yeah, like. I also want to sit here and like try to like defend some like crypto capitalists. Like I understand whatever business this guy was in, it was very much of the disinterest of the Fed, and I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
For very obvious reasons, and most of the time they don't like these like these like tech entrepreneurs, these like financial tech bros, because then it would completely ruin the whole scheme of the money printing Ponzi-onomics of the United States because it's not
Yes,
backed by
exactly.
anything. So they would have to. You would have to essentially like. What essentially the government needs to do is to take the gains of power before it gets too late.
It's kind of
I'm
like
not,
what.
and I'm also not defending crypto either because we know that crypto is a scam, especially after FTX. It's not, this is more
Yeah.
about the it's. I wouldn't say it's like 100% the step to digital currency, but it's
In that
definitely
direction.
in the right direction. Yeah.
To answer Masterman, like Bankman-Fried from freaking FTX.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a little. It's similar, but like Cash App isn't really crypto. It's just a payment processing and.
Like he's not even like it's not even people just say that like he's the owner of Cash App. This has nothing to do with Cash App.
It has nothing to do with Cash App.
Tech entrepreneur that's invested in multiple different financial, like he's in mobile coin, he's in different things at invested in multiple of these Silicon Valley projects happening at once.
So it's almost telling us about Cash App is like just kind of the smoke.
I don't think he even owns Cash App anymore. He owns some like subsidiary. It's definitely like a subsidiary of like mobile coin of some sort. You could tell through this guy's just career history where what his mind was at, or basically his like his conceptual ideas were.
Mm-hmm.
But it's strange because like this is coming after a long strip of crypto deaths in this space that is just. Do you remember that guy a couple months ago who he like allegedly had like these like texts like saying that like the CIA and the Mossad are after me. He was like this like
yeah.
tech.
You're talking about freaking what's his name? The guy who got whacked on his
I think they mentioned him at the end of this, but like we'll see this.
He was like the father of QAnon, dude.
Yeah, again. And I guess like still this is ongoing. This is like some of this is speculation, but like connect the dots where you will.
Weird is going on in the world of crypto and high-tech finance. And don't just take it from me, take it from the facts. A lot of those executives are dropping like flies. Case in point, 43-year-old Bob Lee stabbed to death on the streets in San Francisco, 2:35 in the morning, Tuesday morning. Found alive, but barely.
Yeah, what? Why is he out that late?
Died in the hospital. And this guy is like a tycoon.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you said, they said he didn't actually live there. He lived in Miami. And then why he was there in 2:30 in the morning, like it does that like that right there. It's always like, it's never like, oh, he was doing what he was supposed to do and got stabbed anyway. It's like, no, he was like not in the place that he was supposed to be at all. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Texting about him. Even like Elon Musk is texting about this guy. He was the founder of Cash App.
Do you remember Jake Shields came out and he was like, oh, my friend died, and then the news came out and then everyone connected the dots and it was like, you're friends with the Cash App owner? Jake Shields, that like right wing, like he's like I don't know. Yeah. I think he's like some MMA. He's probably like a Republican
yeah, I don't really like
or something.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I mean, he has good takes on COVID at least. I don't know. But
that's like Venmo, like a cash transfer thing. It's huge. He was a top executive of Square and also MobileCoin, a cryptocurrency startup.
Oh, Square.
Square's okay. Now. Also, take note that Square is essentially the business. It's the company of where small business sells online. That's essentially their point of service, which is like how you convert transactions into
real like I mean, everybody's used Square. Like you get the little thing that goes in your phone and
exactly.
He had moved away from San Francisco, but was there for like an event. It was a MobileCon Leadership Summit. He
Okay. All right.
leaves behind a wife and 2 kids, and they don't have any suspects in custody on this death. Really weird. But maybe what's even weirder is that a lot of crypto guys have been dropping dead. Just since October, 3 top crypto executives have dropped dead. And joining me now with all these details is Caitlin Becker. She's a senior reporter with thedailymail.com.
Were they jabbed?
Who are the others, and what
Who knows?
are the
This is
circumstances?
News Nation,
Caitlin?
probably.
They're all very different circumstances, Ashley. I mean, and we're talking international heads of crypto. Nikolai Mushegian, who's only 29 years old. Tian Kulender was only 30. There was a head of a Russian crypto. We also have Gerald Cotton, Matthew Mellon. One of these are from Canada. This is going back to 2018. There was about
I feel the
5,
same
I
way,
believe
Christopher
This
Kringle.
makes the 6th head honcho in crypto who's died under mysterious circumstances. Vyacheslav Taran, who is Russian, died in a mysterious helicopter crash. The circumstances
Yeah, I
around
remember that. I remember
are
that.
still kind of up in the air. 30-year-old Tian Kulender died in his sleep. I mean, this is 30 years old, and the circumstances around Mushegian's, which he was a crypto leader, he drowned off the coast of
Oh, this is the guy.
Rico
That's
the same day that he was tweeting very paranoid, very disturbing messages
Oh,
about
yeah.
the CIA and Mossad being after
Bro.
him. Following
Yeah.
his death, it was revealed that he obviously had mental health issues, which I think was very clear. But
Oh yeah, mental health issues. Yeah.
it's hard to
I mean, it could be. All right.
look away from the fact that all of these deaths happened very bizarrely and in pretty quick succession in a relatively small field.
This is all this year.
Yeah, so
All
the
of this is true.
Mushegian
Well,
was
like
found
within the
frozen,
past,
last 6
in the
months,
waters
8
off
months,
Puerto
yeah.
Rico, like
Yeah.
you said, having tweeted, "Someone's going to murder me." That's bizarre. Tian
Bro.
was worth what, $3 billion? Is that what his?
That's what
I'm just wondering
his-
if it was his,
yeah,
was his
his com-
group, like the Amber Group, his
Yeah,
company.
the Amber Group was valued at $3 billion at the time of his death. And shortly before he passed away, they did have to lay off some people. So all of these deaths have raised some big
Okay.
questions, especially since the 3 that happened within weeks of each other that you mentioned at the top of this all happened after the kind of the fall of crypto. So this is no longer sort of on the rise.
This is
And some of
after
these
the
earlier
FTX thing.
ones in 2018, Gerald Cotton,
Yeah.
for example, he died with the information and the assets to his crypto wallet in his possession. So that was hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. So there is kind of like a vested interest that these guys can't be cashing out. Like,
Yeah. So also, this guy is. Did they mention his like wallet and like?
Information
they're
and
like, you guys
assets
have
to
fake
his
money,
crypto
it's going to
wallet
stay that way.
in his possession. So that was hundreds of millions of the assets
Oh
to
my
his crypto
God.
wallet in his possession. So that was hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. So if there was a financial invested interest in this, they would have taken Bob Lee's wallet. They could have taken his car keys. They could have taken his watch. They could have taken anything, and they didn't. They just stabbed him, and that's it.
Well,
are,
isn't it?
Are you telling me that's just a crackhead?
Weren't they
Just a
saying?
crackhead on the middle?
Didn't they try and say that was the story at first, that it was like a mugging gone wrong and he didn't have any cash? Like, I thought that was like part of like the fucking cover up at first. Like they pretended that was the issue.
I don't know. I mean, frankly, like San Francisco police is really not being very transparent about this.
Sorry about that.
Shocker.
On Netflix. Yep,
I
on
binged
Netflix.
that till about 5 a.m, and it's awesome.
There are
either
a lot of questions.
I was just going to say, either there is a curse or there are some very angry crypto customers who
The
lost
crypto
their shirts,
curse.
maybe. But Caitlin, follow this for us and tell us if you find out anything more about it.
Absolutely, Ashley.
Okay. So let's get a quick Google Earth of this area, just to get like an understanding of like how rich and loaded this place is. This is where it happened.
That's the store.
Yeah, do you
At
see like
class.
how wide open it is? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't want to be out there at 2:30 in the morning. It looks pretty downtown, but like,
this looks downtown to you?
I mean, is it?
These look like apartment buildings now. I mean, no, like when he.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're right, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So, like he was when he was like actually like knocking on that door that he was knocking on in the security footage.
It was that guy.
That was no. No, that's like an apartment complex. It was like a condominium, like a residential thing. So like this is like a residential, like people live here in this area. People walk in and out, and like
yeah, I mean, it does look
I don't know.
nice
I really don't go to California. I mean, I've been there maybe like once or twice, but either way,
doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and for everyone that's really like gaslighting about the crime thing, and like no, I know that like you could be a methed out person and just you just decide to like randomly stab someone. I mean, sure, yeah, but then you would take their wallet and then you would use it to buy more drugs, would you not? Or are you just you're too methed out to steal the wallet?
Well,
I don't know, man. I've seen like most drug addicts. Like, don't doubt them. They're smart enough to steal the wallet. It's not like they're dumb. Like, it's really not.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, but didn't Fed Now come out?
Yeah, and I'm about to get into that too. Okay. I really just wanna like, hold on, like, well, let's
try and build up the suspense a little bit.
No, you know what? I'll get into like a little bit like of why this guy could. We'll start like connecting the dots a little bit here. As to why this could.
It's the thing is like it's too rich of a neighborhood. Isn't this like Pelosi's district?
Essentially,
it's like way too rich of a neighborhood to have just like freaking crackheads around there. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so then I'm gonna reference back to the crime thing. Like for everyone that's gaslighting about the crime in this area, and like everyone from like literally like FBI agents to like police are like going ahead like San Francisco is violent crime is rampant. We gotta fund the police. Like they're just using this as another excuse to fund. That's what happens whenever a tragedy happens or some mysterious death happens like this. They always have to blame it on like crime so that they can fund the police even more.
Well, it's funny, like because I was listening to more like the Nashville stuff, and like the police were doing more. They're like doing like their press reports and like stuff, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we need more training. Like, thank goodness for our training. We need to make sure we do our training. Like, got to make sure like get more training. Like, training was really what was good. So then like be like, we need more money for training."
Yeah. So let's be a little honest about the crime in this San Francisco area.
San Francisco is horrific and the streets are unsafe.
You hear that a lot, but is there any truth to that? ABC 7 News reporter Leanne Melendez is here with the true facts regarding violent crimes in the city.
Well, when someone is killed or attacked, it hits close to home. We know that. We understand that. Now, people have also witnessed the car break-ins, the shoplifting at stores, the lawlessness, and you suddenly hear people say, I don't feel safe anymore in San Francisco. It's a perception. We want to acknowledge that, but it's still our obligation to be impartial and dispel the narrative
that's what it is
put out there about crime in San Francisco. Tech executive Bob
that's what they do.
Rincon Hill, an upscale San Francisco neighborhood. It's home to many young professionals. According to the latest census, the median household income there is more than $244,000. Lee's
what?
Reported homicide this year take place within the southern station of the police department.
Holy crap!
Neighborhoods like the Tenderloin and the Bayview have had more homicides so far this year. Yet that seems to go unnoticed among many San Franciscans. But that one statistic in Rincon Hill has some in the tech industry talking and posting a lot. Tesla's CEO Elon Musk posted, "Violent crime in SF is horrific.
Many more executives
God.
criticized Mayor London Breed and city officials
Fucking
for
Musk.
creating, in their words,
Of course,
unsafe
Musk was friends with
spaces.
him.
Congratulations, your policies have claimed another life. But is San Francisco really as dangerous as these tech executives claim? Not according to the latest 2021 FBI and local police crime data as compiled in ABC7's Neighborhood Safety Tracker. San Francisco is close to the bottom of the list of major cities with 6.9 homicides per 100,000 people. Austin, Los Angeles, Miami, Washington, Houston, Minneapolis, Oakland, Chicago, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Detroit, and St. Louis had more reported homicides
St.
than
Louis.
San Francisco.
Damn, dude.
Supervisor Matt Dorsey represents the district where Lee was murdered.
This is not a city where anybody should fear for their lives at 2:30 in the morning.
Let's dig even deeper. The crime trends for the year as of April 2nd, 2023 have 12 homicides compared to 10 for the same period last year.
So that graph you saw before was a lie. It was just a straight lie.
Yeah. It was just like just numbers.
But rape and human trafficking crimes are significantly down.
This one gives actual numbers. The other one was literally just a graph. We couldn't even tell what the fuck the y-axis was. That's the graphic that they're giving you. And this is what...
Statistics don't matter when it's somebody you love who has lost their life in an incident in San Francisco.
Now that right there puts everything in perspective. San Francisco has problems like many cities, but these numbers we just showed you, this factual information does not fit the narrative that some people are putting out there on social media.
Nice.
With that said, I want to echo what Supervisor Matt Dorsey said. These statistics are not comforting to the families of any of the victims, whether they live in Rincon Hill or the Tenderloin or the Mission District.
School shootings coming to San Francisco.
Exactly.
Gotta get those numbers up.
So just to get like an idea of like as to like why this guy could have possibly, because honestly, like this. So to be fair, this death in particular has more questions than there are answers. I mean, if we had answers, I mean, maybe it's too soon to call anything. And obviously, none of this is calling anything. It's just more of like a reasoning as to why this guy could have maybe been possibly targeted. And you know, a large part of it is like kind of like what I explained before, like the weakness of fiat currency and the threat to the Ponzi-onomics.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are working to create their new currency. This, of course, is no surprise to those of you who have been following the recent news on the stability of the current global reserve currency, as well as the expected decline of its value. This time around, the lead are expected to take India and Russia. India and Russia should take the lead in forming a financial relationship to ultimately create a new common currency, said State Duma Deputy Chairman Alexander Babakov during St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. It has not been announced what currency will become the common denominator. It seems that a decision on whether it will be the Chinese yuan, Russian ruble, Indian rupee, or something else has not been made.
It's gonna be the yuan. It's gonna be the yuan. But.
It's already. I think there's some huge trade agreement between Russia and China where I think Russia, like one of them is paying for the other in yuan, and like. I know, like, everybody likes to think it's like multipolarity, and that's what this means. That's not what it means. It means, like, China's going to have hegemony in, like, you know, next 10, 20 years.
Well, like, no, Russia's happy because they're selling all the natural resources.
Yeah, I think there's, like, some mutual benefit.
They have the trade routes, and they have a much bigger country, too.
That's the thing is, like China's enormous and has an enormous freaking economy. So it makes sense for them to use, like, the yuan. I'm just saying that, like, I don't really think it's multipolarity. I just think it's China becoming the hegemony in like the next, like, I don't know, 10 to 20
It's
years.
100% China. There's no way that I don't see.
But I think countries have more mutual benefit. I just think
at least economically. I mean, like we should be honest already and just give it like just throw in the towel and give it up to China already because we're in so much debt. Where there's no turning back. There's no turning back.
Well, I mean,
we can't print our way out of the situation.
I mean, that doesn't really mean anything because we print our own.
No,
currency,
it doesn't.
but,
It doesn't because again, we're money printing. We're a money printing Ponzi scheme nation. And then we're proud to be one. So
it's a little off topic, but like basically because like countries are no longer trading with the petrodollar, like we used to be able to print money and be kind of okay because we had that backing of oil. But now that they're trading in like Chinese yuan and like the Iran is trading and Russia's trading and they're all trading amongst themselves, like now it's gonna get really fucking bad because they're gonna keep printing money and like it's not gonna be backed by anything except for what I think Rick said it. Like it's only backed by a war economy. Exactly. So all we have left is war.
That's the only thing we have left. And that's like pretty much the only thing we had. Like let's be honest before
it's true.
So we were broke before World War II. We were completely broke. We had nothing. I mean, before World War One, I would say. But like after World War II is where the real money came in.
Right.
Because that's when we came in, we teamed up with the IMF, the World Bank, and then indebted Europe to forever to us.
So to answer Bill really quick, all I'm saying is that MMT, all fiat currency. It just like it has nothing. It like I agree. They just because we print our own money, that debt doesn't really apply. That's like But what I'm saying is there's kind of like a but there because we still had it backed by the petrodollar, and now as Rick is saying, like also war. But I just think like we're gonna see extreme inflation. Like it's not going to be something that we're going to be able to manage anymore because like the capitalists still want to get paid. And well, it's kind of like what I think. I think we're going to end up like in like a feudalist sort of situation, more or less like what the kind of like the World Economic Forum has kind of been pushing last few years. Like it's going to be really fucking bad.
They're saying it out loud. They're saying this is on April 6th. So pretty much
they're running out of ways to pretend that it's not like fake money and it's not, and it's like if they can prop up like a few thousand people, but they really can't do it anymore. So I think like I think it's very likely we're gonna end up going to war because like Rick said, I think he had like the really good point that it's like all we have left is war. And like what are we gonna do if we can't back the money behind oil or any sort of thing and we lose our reserve currency status? Then it's going to be like a freaking desperate freaking like wolf, like desperate dog, and just like fighting to like stay alive. It's going to get really, really bad. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how they get out of it. Like it's not like everybody on TV thinks like like 6 months down the line and 9 months down the line, a year down the line, like at the end of the day the reserve currency status is going to go away, that we're not going to have like be able to trade with freaking using the petrodollar, like all that stuff's going to go away. So when all that goes away, then like you might as well just wipe your ass with our money because it doesn't mean anything.
It's not going to be worth shit.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why they came out like this is just I just thought it was just funny like how obvious this was. Like this is literally the day of, and they come out as like crypto markets are threatening national security, or this is 2 days after.
Yeah, now it's a problem.
It's a threat to national security, and this is just more of this is back in 2022.
But I mean, like people have been using crypto to fund freaking dissent for freaking ever. Like using that's just like I don't know. Doesn't seem
the thing.
It seems like it bring up an excuse that doesn't really mean anything.
You have to like. I feel like you kind of like sort of like get into like the lens of like these crypto like tech Silicon Valley bros. These people who are involved in cryptocurrency, they are the most. They have like this like libertarian dream of like crypto like currency being like the world currency,
the ANCAPs, the crazy.
Remember the shit. Yeah, remember the shit that they sold us back in like 2020 and like earlier than that, like before SBF, when they were like, oh, the world, even whoever the fuck that like libertarian guy is.
Which one? Ron Paul?
Cryptocurrency is nothing, and you can quote me on this. Cryptocurrency is nothing but a libertarian wet dream.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Well,
and it's not going to happen because the White House is going to do everything they can to pursue and like basically make it illegal.
Well, so it was kind of like what I was saying a couple weeks ago with Michael Hudson is like is it really like decentralized? Is it really like its own thing? If like a freaking,
it's really not.
If a freaking,
it's more of like
crypto,
because it has to be backed by something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is like you don't really have like a free market with like cryptocurrency either, because currency still has to be regulated. There still has to be some sort of like enforcement mechanism to make sure that like the way people trade goods has some sort of like meaning behind it. It's not just like a free for all. So like the idea that it's like any sort of different than like just like going to the bank or anything else, it's not really. It's just less safe. So
yeah, and I think most people are aware that they pretty much came straight out of the gate with it in terms of just right after just introducing the new
no
Fed
hesitation.
payment trade, no hesitation whatsoever. Just right out the gate, we're introducing the new Fed now, which is this new. It's basically, and people are basically saying like they're like, hold on.
So is it literally like a Cash App clone?
More or less.
Of course.
But I had a little graphic up. I'm gonna try to find it again.
It seems to me that it's kind of like a precursor to when they implement CBDCs, and then FedNow is going to be the platform that they use for CBDCs, and like this kind of platform will just sort of go away or be deprecated.
Yeah. So this is more or less what I was trying to reference. It's basically
okay.
Like you have the Fed, which is like the central, it's the central reserve, it's everything. There's the receiver financial institution, which is going to be like basically every bank.
Right.
So if your bank is down with Fed now, this is how they're going to be. Or even if it's a company that is connected to this bank, they're going to have all the, and this is why. So like, a lot of people are kind of overstating that this is like a form of CDBCs. It's not. It's scary and
it's payment transfer.
Yeah, it's scary in sort of like different ways. So
okay,
what exactly FedNow is it's basically a real-time payment that will be government-backed competitor to private sector alternatives.
They're just saying it out loud.
Yeah, just like Zelle, just like Chime, and any of the customer satisfaction privately issued cryptocurrencies. And that means the Fed. So basically the Fed now will allow the Fed, a government entity, to see intimate details of consumer transactions, which means the Fed, a government entity, would have access to all of your data, all of your purchasing data, without a warrant, and they'll be able to share it with law enforcement agencies, and they'll be vulnerable to hacking because they're not any better than the private sector whatsoever, and there's no, you can't opt out of this. There's no saying I would not like to share my data with the government. It's pretty much, if you're just going to be buying anything at all, then you're more or less going to be stalked by the feds, or the FBI is going to know what you're buying. At more
So
or
what's
less.
gonna happen? So what's gonna happen to the apps like Cash App and Zelle and Venmo?
They're still going to exist. They're like, so the private sector, like it's basically just going to be like a direct competitor, but they're the they're going to try to team up with banks and financial institutions in order to get them to use this. Kind of like, you know how Zelle kind of does that?
Yeah, Zelle kind of does. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
That's
gonna try to
interesting.
team up with banks and try to like use like financial institutions. So like that's that way that where else are you gonna store your money if it's not in a bank? You know what I mean?
Credit union. But
I
yeah, I mean, I
guess.
guess it's super scene.
Yeah, and
That's interesting.
I do just want to point this one last thing out.
It does seem at one point that they're going to like force people to use it.
Moby was his dream, a privacy protecting wallet for the get the fuck out of here, please. I will miss him every day. Privacy protecting wallet. So like how that kind of coincides with the financial like FedNow plan of being able to unwarrantedly just go through all of your financial data. I don't know. I make those are the dots that that are laid out for us for now, at least. And again, no details at all whatsoever. I mean, I would expect with all this surveillance footage, plus they have his phone, they have all that data in there, and they
have his
won't
phone.
say they won't say whether it was targeted or not. So
well, we just have to assume that it is.
Yeah, let's just do that. We can just do that.
I mean, did the cops say that they were going to release the footage, or
I mean, that's all we have. It's him staggering from like after his like
so that's
final
what that's what the cops released. Damn.
Yeah, well, so it's like that's what they have in terms of like surveillance footage in that surrounding area. I mean, that's all they really can go off of. Like perhaps. I mean,
well, I mean that's the thing because it's only one camera, right? I would think there would
no,
be
there's
more
multiple.
right
There's multiple. On that street. Are you kidding me? You could see there's multiple cameras on the
Yeah.
entire street. They have
Yeah,
multiple
so that's why I'm
shots.
kind of like, why haven't we seen more stuff?
Yeah, yeah. Not a whole lot of transparency. Not a whole lot.
Surprise.
Definitely not. Definitely not. All right.
Did we want to pivot?
Yeah, do you want to riff on some? You want to have some fun with this Bud Light mishaps?
Yeah, so I got a bunch here. I got quite a bit. So yeah, Bud Light's part of it, but basically, I wasn't gonna do this part, and I was gonna do something else. But then a few different things all related to each other all happened the same week. I was like, all right, I guess
it's funny, so I mean, it's worth.
I guess it's like as good as any to kind of get into it. So
yeah.
So just to start off, I don't know if everybody knows who like Dylan Mulvaney is, but he's kind of like this like TikTok internet celebrity who went through like 365 days of girlhood and recently like fully transitioned or whatever, and has been getting like a lot of sponsorships, like crazy sponsorships for being a woman as a trans woman. So I just kind of wanted to highlight how this person's kind of came to be and show kind of like the absurdity of like how people are reacting to some of this stuff. So I guess I'll share my screen. Let's see. Where's my audio?
How far are you Dylan like into like the company's like bottom line, the CEI scores?
What's that? What do you mean?
Like how Dylan helps the CEI scores of like different companies?
Well, I'll show that. There's actually like it breaks down like
okay.
part of what they have to do is show outreach to the community. And so something like something like that. Hold on, just froze up on me. Don't lose my stuff. Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna close this window. Is it still frozen? Man.
Yeah.
Man.
You might have to hop out.
Let me refresh it.
Yeah, bro. Maybe we gotta switch to like just straight OBS or something. Don't use Restream, folks. Don't spend your money on anything. Actually, don't buy anything.
All right, let's try.
Just getting some bad PSAs.
Give me the option to share my audio on this time. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta open on like a separate screen or something.
Huh?
Open up. Can you open up that window all the way?
Yeah. Can you see the thing with Dylan on it?
Sort of. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
All right. So this is 2018.
There's no volume. There's no audio. I mean.
All right. Why isn't it? It's not letting me share audio though. Let's see this. And now it's frozen again. Yay.
Don't buy anything.
I have like 20 windows
open.
Don't
buy anything.
Let's see.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If it, I could probably just share it if it's. We'll see.
Kind of a lot though. Let's try this again.
Yeah.
Window, live, entire screen. Yeah, usually it has a little check mark for it. That's freaking annoying, dude. The option is.
You don't see it you don't see it at the bottom.
Yeah, usually it's right there. It shows like share audio too.
That's weird.
Let me try something really quick.
I could just show how about I'll just show the videos and you show everything else.
It's quite. All right, let me try one other thing. USB headset.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea too.
Audio output. Let's see this. All right. Yeah, I don't know. It's not letting me share the audio. Nope. Let me see this. Because you can see the window, but you just can't see the audio, huh? That really doesn't help. That's like a huge freaking bummer. Yeah, that's not going to work. Well, you can pull that stuff up. You have all that stuff there.
Yeah.
Wonder if that's a Mac thing.
You're on a Mac? I'm on a Mac. So
yeah, it's sending the output to the headphones. Should I try and send it through the computer? I don't want to have a bunch of echo. Let me try this one more time.
No, you. I don't think you'll have that much echo, but third time's the charm.
All right,
we're doing it. If anything, I have it too.
Okay, do that audio. Let's see. Nope, it's not going to show it.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well just take everything. Don't buy anything. Take everything. Is that just a bad statement to broadcast?
To do what?
Don't buy anything. Take everything. Just don't buy anything. Don't buy anything from a big corporation. Just buy locally.
Try not to.
Yeah, try not to. Try not to do that.
I'm more of like, if you see anything, no, you didn't, sort of thing.
Was this wait? What's the first video?
It's in a different order though, man. Because I wanted to show the old ones first, like the freaking old school ones. Like, why isn't it letting me share audio? That's really annoying. There's like no check mark for it.
Just tell me which tab it's like, which
the
title is.
The ones
I see
on
one,
the. Let me try one other thing.
I see this. Like the Ollie London thing. You're muted. There's no sound on your end. There you go. You're back.
Yeah, but it's still saying it's unplugged.
We just gotta mess around with this thing one day.
It worked every other time. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
Had all this stuff planned out.
No. Just, I mean, you could just. Do you see the private chat in the bottom?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So you see, just send me links over. Just send me links if you.
Oh,
if there's anything extra.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What? Yeah, but which one's the first one that?
The Ollie North with either Price is Right or the other one, the other show he was on with Ellen. Yeah, you can do either one.
Okay.
And their real resolution is to get funky on national
but
television.
This was in 2018. Okay, so this wasn't that long ago.
Take a look.
So, now I can hear it in my headset.
That is very impressive for the thigh muscles to stay down that long. Very impressive. Hey, one last tip. Remember to conserve energy unless you're dancing, and then you should use as much energy as possible, like these audience dancers right here.
No, I had to watch it, so now you have to.
Jesus Christ! Oh my god!
So that was 2018. So that was less than 5 years ago. Okay, so wasn't like Dylan was 12, decided Dylan wanted to be trans. Yeah, so go to The Price is Right. 2020.
Dylan, how you doing? Right over here. Just stay arm's length away from me. Yeah, good. How you doing? So I was talking to you earlier, but tell the audience what you do.
I am a yoga instructor, and I do musical theater.
Well, thanks for bringing the energy, Dylan.
Thank you.
We have something pretty cool for you behind the door here. What do we got, George?
We're going to entertain you with a whole new game room.
Woo!
This foosball table features sturdy 5-inch leg levelers with a rubber bottom to ensure a flat surface and semi-solid stainless steel chrome-plated player rods from Kick Foosball Tables. And this Western maple craftsman style.
Yeah.
You can skip to there's one more, skip to 2.5 minutes or something.
Noodle soup.
I'm still in it!
So you know two prices already.
So clearly you could tell this he's an actor. She's an
super
actor. They're an actor. They're an actor.
It's a great thing. $3.99 to $5.
Whatever it
Which
is.
one do you want?
I don't know.
I'm going to keep the $5.99.
Keep $5.99. Something else up here is $5.99. You can tell me what it is. You get everything.
I'm going to say the soup.
Soup, $5.99.
So ridiculous.
Pretty fancy. It is. Yes.
Imagine if it was eggs.
You got it. Dylan's a winner. Dylan, nice job, man.
Come on.
Look at that. We're
come
gonna
on.
spin the wheel right after this. Don't go away, folks.
Yeah, $5.99 soup, exactly. Who's paying $5.99 for a can of soup? All right. So now, I guess you can pull
Can I just be honest with you for a second? I'm friends with plenty of gay people. I'm friends with plenty of trans people. And none of them act as like this. None of them. I don't know anyone who is this like ready for the camera as Dylan is. I'll tell you that.
Like I didn't really get into the history, but like he's like a C-list actor. Like he
Yeah,
does like
that's
ads
basically.
and stuff. Or,
That's
sorry.
basically what,
Like
that's what they do. They just go into commercials.
Yeah, so and we'll get to that in a second, but I just kind of wanted to show that it's not like Dylan was like 10 years old or 12 years old and was like, I'm a woman in a man's body. Like Dylan literally did the 365 days of womanhood, and then like that was like the thing over the last year. So very, very, very recent development. That's mainly why I wanted to show those old clips. It's like I have friends who are trans and they've been trans for freaking ever. Like they knew that something was up. Like the people who are serious about it, they knew it was up. Wanted to be on Broadway. I think he was on Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
he was in Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
so you're correct.
But I mean, like I really think what Dylan is doing is like sort of it's really a mocking of trans people, if anything else, because like what you're doing is like you're taking like the trans identity and like you're just like all of this is just making it look terrible to be it looks bad. It's terrible.
We'll get to that,
for
but
trans people.
more than making it look bad for trans people, I think Dylan's kind of making a mockery of women, and that's like
that too.
And I think that's the bigger issue is like these people are being rewarded for kind of making caricatures out of like females, out of women. It's like it's a complicated kind of nuanced thing, but like I feel like they're just making a mockery of it, and like I would be really fucking pissed if I was a woman and like seeing
before I comment any further on this, I'm gonna go ahead and like say like my personal belief, like from what I've talked to and like or just like from what I've seen from people like Sarah Higdon, you know, who you know, actual like hearing from like actual other trans people, she's a trans woman who believes that there's two separate identities. There's trans women and then there's women. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
fundamentally.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you want to identify as a trans, as long as there's a significant, as long as there's like some like distinguisher, like dignifier that you can like make that sort of. I feel like that makes sense. Does it?
Yes.
Does it not?
Yes, it does.
And,
I think Rick Salas had a really funny comment.
What did you?
It is like an Andy Kaufman thing.
Yeah.
It really is, and we'll get to that. But that's exactly it. Really kind of is like that.
Exactly it. It's like I mean,
complete parody.
Money, like he's been doing the rounds on all the corporate commercials.
Well,
and at this point,
we can pull some
top surgery or something. Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to get into that discussion because I think people have the right to identify however they want. I just like that's not what my discussion is about. My discussion is more about how like trans culture has gotten so absurd that it's now like not only like totally making a parody out of the people they're trying to co-opt, but that they're getting rewarded for it, and that these people are actually antagonizing the people that they're trying to emulate. So it's just completely out of control. So it's not even about whether you're like passing or not. That's not the point I'm getting at all. So that's like a thing that's been freezing up. There's a lot of stuff, but like that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. I think we can have a more nuanced discussion about it.
Yeah.
Sure. So pull up. So there's some more. Pull up the Tampax one. I don't know if they're in order, but like you might not see them. But there's a bunch of them. I think there's 4 of them. One of them's Tampax.
Internet famous?
Huh? The face of Tampax. It's like a 15-second clip.
Yeah, hold on.
You'll see it. It's like Dylan, modern Dylan, or like what is it? Like Dylan being internet famous. Oops. Yeah, exactly.
I got it.
Right. I agree with you, John. I think
I'm
it's
going to
actually,
hand out all these extra tampons I have left so that no one can call me a tampon hoarder. That about the prospect of me doing a tampon partnership. I mean, it made the...
Okay,
so you did pull
Olay, every day.
This one's recent.
SPF, that's just my way. Getting sun, I'm going cray. Olay, oh slay. Every day this, every day that. Let me hit y'all with some scientific facts. Enough hydration for the whole nation. SPF, baby, we're glowing on the daily. Monday, get my Vitsy. Tuesday, got lightweight energy. Whips go from cream to liquid. Saturday, Sunday, I'm addicted. Olay, every day. SPF, that's just my way. Getting sun, I'm going cray. Olay, oh slay.
Embarrassing. This is like a complete mockery, dude. Like a complete mockery. That's a Nike ad. Dylan getting like $15,000 to $50,000 for that. Okay, like no small. So really quick, I guess I could share my screen for a second because I'm not going to share audio. Let's see something. Well, maybe I'll just wait, but
yeah, sure.
Hold on, I wanted to see. Well, we can do it after the Bud Light ads. But basically like with those ads, before we show the Bud Light one, like these are all things that like Dylan get paid for posting on TikTok, doing like a 30-second, minute-long TikTok, whatever, anywhere from $15,000 to over $50,000 per post, and it can be higher than that. Okay, so like something like Nike, where complete mockery of women, almost like I just find it incredibly insulting. I think it's just like how they're getting away with this. But this person, just imagine that like somebody's cosplaying and they're instead getting all the credit for it instead of people who are actually like born with the part getting cast aside. I just think it's like a really kind of patriarchal move.
I really just think how it's like it's very ridiculous how this is the number one issue in this country, and we're
it's
already
crazy. But I mean, I was looking at some other videos, and we'll see. Like it's like it's culture war shit, but like it's gotten violent and like it's gotten kind of crazy. Dylan's just kind of like the like parody of it all, but there is kind of like an ugly side to all this as well.
And if Dylan was like, and
the thing
identify as what you want, but like I draw out red flags when I see that you're making all this money, and he doesn't even like really put in that much of an effort into like womanhood. He doesn't like seem to like. He doesn't have like. I mean, he has all the money for like all the surgery he wants. I mean, look at Blair White. Like she's loaded, but she can do whatever she wants. I mean, and also like other and I'm. Look however you want. It doesn't matter. Like however, you know, it doesn't even like entirely the point of what I'm saying. It just like if you're gonna be like kind of like the face of like quote unquote like transhood. I mean like I don't know. It just doesn't seem to add up to me.
I mean, I'm more of the opinion that like why give a man that opportunity for co-opting womanhood when there's like probably women who do the part pretty well.
Yeah, there's women who could co-opt womanhood pretty well.
That's like let's leave it to the women.
That's the patriarchal society that we live in. That's exactly the problem.
Because what's happening now is like, and you've seen it with makeup. Like we could go down this rabbit hole, but like see it the way that people like kind of like shaping their faces and stuff like that. That like they're when you make the man's version of women becoming the standard of women. You know, Dylan is pretending to be a woman for what he thinks in his head a woman is supposed to be. So it's not actually a woman, it's a parody of a woman because Dylan is fucking crazy. So, but if all these companies start making Dylan the standard, then like this man who's making a parody out of women ends up setting the stage for what becomes the standard for womanhood. So like, what does that mean? That like that's not good. So you end up with basically women being held to male standards. Like, and that's reinforcing patriarchy. That's like we should be getting away from that. We need to get way, way, way away from that. And so it's not even about
it is, isn't it? I mean, it's not. I guess like perhaps like celebrating in that way. I mean, I don't know. Like, but to me, it's just a trend. I mean, it'll probably die at some point.
I mean, I think it's bigger. I think it's part of the transhumanist movement. I think a big part of it is that they have to really, really, really put into people's heads the idea that your body is not really connected to yourself, that you can kind of like dissociate and be whatever you want, and your body's just this vessel. Okay. Because once they start putting chips in your brain, once they start replacing body parts and do all that like crazy shit, like they need to have the buy-in from everybody to be like, oh, you know what? It's just an arm. It's just my head. It's just like my eyes. Like,
well, I'm more so concerned about the hormonal effects of the things that they put in our water and the things that they put in our food. And despite whatever you say about Alex Jones, the gay frogs are real, folks. They're real. There's, I mean, or whatever.
I mean, he was hyperbolic, but he was like pretty close. He was basically like they basically feminized,
more or less. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I just think like we have to be mindful of this guy getting hundreds of thousands of dollars per month for pretending to do something that like half the world does as a job every single day, as like they are every single day.
Yeah, do you want to show the article already?
Do you want to do the? Because I was gonna do the Bud Light, show the Bud Light, and then do the responses, and then I was going to do the article. Get where I'm coming from? Bring it all together.
This one here.
No. Do the Bud Light. Do the Dylan with the Bud Light, and then we'll do some of the responses.
Wait, which one is that called? What's the?
It is. This isn't a parody. Dylan Mulvaney is now the face of Bud Light, and it's two of them. It's with Ian Miles Chong. I guess I could send it to you.
I'm just going off the document. Basically,
you can private chat. It's got in the private chat.
Okay, all right. Oh yeah, I'll just open that.
Okay, so Bill Bradley's like kind of getting into it. I agree. But that's like a whole nother topic. Because at the end of the day, does it matter like if like a trans barista or a freaking like biological male barista, they're still proletariat under the slave of fucking capitalism. Like intersectionality is like something that like is a bourgeois thing. Like that's like a bourgeois
it's a psyop. Like, I mean, it's a giant
like,
distraction, like everything else.
Like we were kind of talking about this before. Like so as far as like the concept of like feminism and intersectionality and all that stuff, that's all bourgeois stuff to try and like reform us to basically exist under capitalism. Okay, but I'm more interested personally in how we abolish patriarchy. So like, and that's something that's a core belief of mine. So like, while I understand the intersectionality is kind of like in the weeds with like,
and really isn't that the original foundation of feminism is to like abolish patriarchy, having the actual equal rights. You know what I mean?
It's like actual equal rights. So this is like a perversion of it. Like the idea,
right?
Anyway, like
it's a parody of itself. Basically,
aren't using their brains on this one.
My computer's like running slow. So long.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96.
Oh, now it's your turn.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes.
Hi. Impressive carry skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us.
Got them both going.
I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought
we were all just having there's two ads.
But it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which
the other one's
sport,
playing right now.
But either way, it's a cause to celebrate.
How is it playing both at the same time? Dude,
this month I
Twitter?
celebrated my day. This month I celebrated my day 365.
Yeah. Twitter browser is so weird. I hate it.
Dude, it feels like it's breaking a little bit more every day.
It breaks all the time. I fucking hate it, Musk. Please.
I have a womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money too.
I'm not triggered. I just think this guy is
Cheers.
an opportunist.
Go team.
And it really, yeah. Anyway, and I guess we kind of already saw the one in the tub, but like again, is this what we want a representation of women to be? Is that the representation of women, or is this the representation of trans women? Like, what is this? Like, that's a parody. This is. This is.
No, I'm trying to find it.
I don't know why people are pushing that, but you can see. So now we can get into the kind of the reactions. I thought it was ridiculous. That people are coping so hard, whether to just get internet famous or they really feel passionately about their Bud Light, which I find it hard to believe. Like, I started like looking at these, and I honestly kind of thought that part of like, what if there was like a second layer to their marketing where they're like, we know people are going to rage about it so bad that that's going to generate its own like publicity and virality in and of itself. So they're like, even though we're going to do this freaking thing to like help our CI score and have this like trans person be like the face of Bud Light, we're like kind of hoping that people get really divisive about it because that's going to generate a lot of freaking like a lot of energy around the Bud Light brand as well.
Yeah, yeah. What was the next one, Pete?
So any of the reactions really.
Oh, now you want to get into the responses?
Yeah,
because I mean, like, conservatives didn't take this lightly either. Not a lot of people seem to be too.
It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I'll pull up the video of the VP in a few minutes here. I want to get into some of these reactions. Did you pull it up? I'm trying to pull them up.
It's taking like forever to load.
I know, I had a bunch of them. Oh, this one's a good one. It's just crazy, dude. There's no market to cultivate. It's all fake. It's all fake. We'll get there.
Bro. All right, there we go.
Destruyen estos 85 botes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just show this on my phone.
Can you do it through your phone?
Can you try sharing this?
Huh?
Por supuesto que dentro de 85,000 botellas no podrían faltar las caguamas. Vean ahí. Llegó el momento, vamos a ver cómo esto crash se destruye.
Now, who's doing this?
I don't know. It's some distributor.
Just.
I just.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of money we're
Por supuesto que hay algunas que dicen mejor vale que aquí murió y quedó. Están tratando de ir, pero van para atrás. Y pues bueno, así quedaron. Esta es la escena del crimen. Y aquí quedaron, bueno, todas las latas, como usted puede apreciar.
I have no idea what he's saying, but Just seems like an excessive,
Is this a lot? I don't know. Is this too much? Tell me.
Is it too much? It's just the amount enough amount of outrage.
Esto ni en los Monster.
Oh my god. Monster Crush. So dumb.
Here's another one.
I am the biggest advocate and supporter of Jack Daniel's whiskey. Have been for 40 years of my life, if not longer. Here's the deal. You went woke. The company's been going and making badass whiskey for 150 years, since 1866, and out of nowhere, you went woke. So this is what I got for you guys. Mirror that has been in my every house I've owned. Every Jack Daniel's glass that I've ever owned.
Another example of wokeness. Like people losing their minds about this stuff. I think this one's like a little different. It wasn't.
You know what this is? This is just another version of wokeness. This is like anti-wokeness on like a different. You know what happened in 2016?
It's like the Jordan Peterson mindset.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like for some reason, like maybe it's because we live in like such a two-party duopoly that people live in this binary like mindset where like you're either woke or you're like super anti-woke, and there's no like distinguishment.
Yeah,
of, like,
but that's how everything is, and that's
that everything's in two camps, and you can only believe one thing or the other. And if you say anything that's like criticizing one, you're automatically put into the other camp.
But that's not
winning.
us, Greg.
There's
We're
no
different.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I listen. I literally like talked to like my family like this past like yesterday at Easter, and my aunt's like she was talking to like my cousin and like his girlfriend, and she was like saying they were talking about like politics and like talking about like how like my cousin's a liberal, and he's like, oh, like I'm not a liberal, and then my aunt's like, oh, you should talk to Greg, he's a centrist, and I'm like, I'm not a fucking centrist. I'm not a centrist.
What'd you call me?
I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I'm an independent. I'm not a centrist. Don't
Much
fucking
different.
call me that. Because like this is just like what I like ever since 2020. Yeah. No, cookies is bad. It's bad. It's bad.
You could be
It's
like
really bad.
all like independent is very broad.
Yeah. This is the level of like brainhood of like this is adults in our country.
Adults.
This is like my aunt. This is like what people believe nowadays.
It's bad.
Yeah.
But
Mine has been up in my pub.
this was it wasn't for Dylan, but there was another trans person that ended up getting like some ad. There was for like one of their flavored whiskeys. Like, come on. At least you already paid for it. Like, why?
At least drink it. Come on, you fucking idiot. Come on. This is nothing but a waste of money. You want to show... You know what this is? This is the equivalent of, like, taking your camera and like, filming a TikTok at the gym. It's the same exact thing. This is the equivalent of filming a TikTok at the gym for rednecks? This is basically the same.
It is.
Excuse my derogatory language.
People like beating their chests, feeling good about themselves.
Two of the world's most expensive Jack Daniels. $250 a bottle and $100 a bottle. Fuck your woke-ass company.
Fuck your woke-ass company.
Dude drinks a lot. It is true. Definitely had a lot of alcohol in there. Like bro.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the real crime here, Mastermind.
Here's another
He's dumb enough to pay a $250 for a bottle of Jack.
Yeah, like you can buy good cheap whiskey or maybe like bourbon. I don't know. I haven't drank in a long time, but
I got a message for Bud Light.
Actually kind of based. Potato cannon.
What? What did you just do?
They launched that off a potato cannon.
That's clear.
That's funny.
I guess.
At least.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible.
Come on. Wow. What a clown.
Fuck Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
Thanks, Kid Rock.
Good job, Kid Rock. Grandpa Rock.
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandpa Rock.
So, that one's definitely, it's pretty ridiculous. Pretty good shot.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. So what?
Okay, so these last couple. So this is actually just kind of showing.
So with all this,
just anecdotes of people not actually buying the shit. Like, there's no numbers yet. There was people throwing around some numbers. I couldn't verify it.
You can't just look. You can't just look at the stock exchange and then.
Yeah, they're down like almost 4% for the day, like $5 billion. But like, I don't know if it's all just like people reacting, like play this guy.
It's obviously people reacting. The stock market's super volatile.
Yeah, but the stock market, like, it's kind of divorced from reality. Like, they could be fine. It could be up 4% tomorrow. It doesn't really mean anything. Like, if people aren't buying shit, that's kind of what I'm curious about. But
yeah.
This guy's like a distributor, works for a distributor, and he's talking about nobody's buying shit.
I work for an affiliate company. I am a merchandiser, and the sole product of the company I work for is Anheuser-Busch products. So with all this canceling going on, I've never seen such little sales in this past few days on these products. And it's sad because when people don't buy this beer, I don't make money, and I can't feed my family. So it's kind of heartbreaking, I guess, that Anheuser-Busch did what they did. They don't know their clientele. So it's kind of heartbreaking. Thanks, Anheuser-Busch. I may not be able to feed my family coming up here soon.
Is he being serious?
I think he's being a little hyperbolic, but like, I don't know
Can't
if he's
feed his family.
if
He
he's
owns.
paycheck. Well, if he's paycheck to paycheck and he's on commission, like I could see it getting bad. You know, if he's got
Okay.
like that would suck to have to like go and do a different freaking sales job or something different. I don't know. I could see it, but yeah, like the other one with the cooler. Like the thing is, I don't think Bud Light's numbers change very much year to year. Like I saw some, like, but it's like
Well, I have one with the VP pulled up too. So
I guess we can go to. I can guess we go to that one now. Just
Today we salute you, Mr. Budweiser, head of marketing guy. Only you could take a beer and make it 20 years of amazing ad campaigns, and this is where we end up.
Not gonna buy it.
What the fuck were you thinking?
yeah. So there were a few like that.
That's fine.
So I mean, there's anecdotes, and you can't really take it as fact, but there are stories of people being like, you could imagine, like in a right-wing town or a small town, that people would like all band together and kind of do something like that, and you'd see an impact.
Well, also, who's drinking the beer too? I mean,
it's a very narrow demographic.
Most like leftists are smoking weed. Let's be honest. Like, if you want to take like the East versus like more like a North versus like South kind of dynamic. I think everyone smokes weed for the most part. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's an unfair distinction to make, but either way.
I mean, I used to drink Bud Light, exactly, Mastermind. Like when I was in college, like that's when I.
Who's drinking Bud Light? It's piss beer. It is literally piss beer.
But that's what you saw. You saw it was like the people who were drinking it were mainly a particular group of people. Like I'm kind of surprised I didn't really find any videos of like college students and stuff, because like we used to get kegs of this shit because it was cheap. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the only reason why you get this stuff. I mean, I don't know who's buying Bud Light anyway. Really, I mean that's exactly what it is. It's like frat boys like buying like a bunch of, like buying like a a 6-pack of like Natty Ice. You know what I mean? Like just some like cheap ass
or Natty exactly. It's not
piss beer.
It's not really about what it tastes like.
I can enjoy cheap beer. Like I can enjoy like something like a Blue Moon every once in a while, but like I like European beer, if anything. There's nothing like if there's any really Balkans in chat, you can't find it anywhere in the United States. I've tried, but Ojusko is the best European beer I've ever had. Yeah, I would do anything. I would kill a man for that beer. And you know what? It's only available in Croatia, so
damn.
It's very expensive to go over there and just to get beer. So yeah.
But yeah,
my dad. You know what's funny? Like my dad actually has he's friends with like a distributor in Brooklyn who like ships like some other. It's not a Jusko, but it's like Vaska or something like that. Some other Croatian beer that he's like a distributor, so in the United States, so like he's like the main distributor in the United States. So he just like basically just.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty sweet.
Gets all like cause he drives up to like Newark, gives him like a 6-pack in the parking lot, like literally like drugs. Like it's literally like handing over drugs. Yeah. Just for a 6-pack of beer. Yeah.
I wonder if somebody like him would have noticed that there's less demand for Anheuser-Busch products.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to get into this?
Yeah, we can pivot now. So this is the VP of marketing for Bud Light doing her like pretending that she knows what she's
Natty Ice. I fucking hate that.
Businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men.
Mm-hmm.
And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of bratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's her like not even apologizing for it, totally like going for it and owning it and saying we had to do this. So I'll give her credit there for like not backing down. But like I don't know if I think she was put in a position where it was just I'm torn between whether she just decided to do this on her own or if she was encouraged to do something like this. So I guess I can start sharing my screen now since I got some notes and I know more screen, more audio.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you see it now? So before you go into it, I just wanted to show some other stuff that Dylan's in. So can you see this thing with Ollie London? So Nike, Bud Light, Ulta.
Also, what's up with the Dalai Lama today, too?
Oh my god. He tried to make out with a little kid. Tried to tongue him.
Everyone's a pedo nowadays. Why?
I think it's just part of the thing where I'm saying like I think the world's getting so absurd that we're just like seeing through the curtain now. And like they're just doing like the absurd and obvious out in the open and just are expecting us to take it. Like
yeah. Wait, is this a video or no?
No, can you see it though? Like with it.
I think your screen is frozen. I could be wrong. I don't know. But
so you don't see Dylan's face?
No, I see it. It's
okay. I just wanted to say before I switched.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say before I switched to the other part was that like again like 10, 15,000, over 50,000 for all these sponsorship deals. Nike, Bud Light, Ulta, Plaza Hotel, Tampax, KitchenAid, Always tampons, Crest toothpaste, Mac makeup. Let's see, Kate Spade. So you kind of get the idea. Kind snacks. Did that one. So, but when you start looking into this, so I know we kind of touched upon a little bit.
Are you on a Mac laptop, real quick?
No, I'm on a
Mac laptop.
I'm on Mac.
Do you have the ability to like hit Command plus a couple?
Better.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'll remember that. So we've kind of touched upon this a little bit in the past, but like part of like ESG and having all these companies get behind like green energy and like their social commitment and like all these alternative energy and all these things to come across as doing the right thing for the community and being good and like not being totally evil under capitalism. Part of that is what's called the CEI and the Corporate Equality Index. Okay, so this lady who was just saying, "Oh, I wanted to do something different," like as we'll kind of see, is like these companies literally have a vested interest. If I don't even know if I'd say a financial interest, but they have a vested interest in doing these things, or else facing backlash, something that could hurt their score, and we'll kind of get into that. And just before going into it, like Anheuser-Busch has a perfect score, so they obviously take this seriously.
And this affects their bottom line in a substantial way.
I think I see it after reading about it. I see it as a kind of form of extortion. So
it is. It directly affects their credit. So like their bill, like every major company, especially like Anheuser-Busch, they're running off of these giant loans that they need. Like if you're doing any whatsoever, like. If you're a company, you have an accounts payable. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna need to have loans and credit. So
right,
like that's just the nature
then,
of like what the
but then you
CIA,
ask
what the CEI is for.
if it's on that level to be able to like issue credit and like do these things as like high profile companies, like why are they jumping on the freaking like LGBTQ thing? I mean, like kind of saying that rhetorically, but like it's just something that doesn't seem to concern the average uh trans uh trans people, you know? Like
Yeah, well, I mean, you could. I mean, do you see how like it's run by HRC, the
yeah.
political.
So yeah, and I'll pull it up. So like yeah, the human rights campaign. So lucrative deals and ideological advertising campaigns, all plan to do business, corporate equality index, a ranking overseen by the Human Rights Campaign. The most powerful LGBTQ plus political lobbying group in the world compiles woke scorecards based on corporate box ticking. Okay, so hold on. Businesses that meet the criterion earn a maximum of 100 index points are awarded Best Place to Work for LGBTQ Equality title, which 15 of the top 20 Fortune-ranked companies achieved. Among these corporations that received 100...
In which,
yeah.
like, in which Dylan is like not even like it's not his place of work. Either.
It's not even.
Like,
he's not even a part of it.
He's on a contract. He's contracted by these companies. It's a temporary thing.
Look how ironic when you think of the best places to work for, the best corporations. Do you think Walmart, Amazon, Apple, and Google? Like the most evil corporations take this shit so fucking seriously.
No,
you know, it's just like
it's the most disingenuous like score.
So cynical. It's so cynical.
Yeah.
So the CEI, what did we say it was again? The
credit
corporate equality
corporate,
index.
Corporate equality index.
Just some fucking jargon.
Which has deep ties to George Soros' Open Society.
Oh, yeah. So falls under the umbrella entity ESG, as I said, for environmental, social, and corporate governance, and its ethical investing movement, which funds ideological projects, including those that phase out fossil fuels, promote unionization, and maintain racial and gender equality, hiring quotas. If the company loses its points, which can be due to such issues as failing to meet integration of intersectionality in professional development, skills-based or other training, their stakeholders can see the effects in their financial returns. So straight up extortion. For profit-driven entities, losing conservative customers by pushing woke advertisement and making figures like Mulvaney the public face, the company is a small price to pay compared to the alternative. So let's see if I have anything else going. One of the key players in this dynamic is BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, one of the top shareholders in major companies including Nike and Anheuser-Busch, who oversee assets worth $1.6 trillion. Fink, who has been dubbed the face of ESG, showed his hand in 2018 in a notorious letter to CEOs titled A Sense of Purpose, which threatened to demote those who didn't fall in line. Arguing that companies need to serve a social purpose, Fink said to prosper over time, every company must not only deliver financial performance, but also show how to make positive contributions to society. Let's put them in air quotes. If a company does with the community and have a sense of purpose, it will ultimately lose this license to operate from key stakeholders anymore. Okay, so I just want to take a moment to state that I think he's kind of like saying the quiet part out loud right now with this kind of thing. Like it's a mask. You saw that the biggest companies that are doing it are Walmart, Amazon, Google, like the worst companies. Okay, so he's basically saying Larry Fink of BlackRock, like fucking billionaire,
World Economic Forum chair,
yes,
like child,
and crazy rich. Okay, is basically like capitalism falling apart. People are seeing the cracks. You guys need to pretend that this stuff matters. Yes, it's like the worst thing. He's saying that it's falling apart and that you have to pretend to keep this thing going. Okay, so it's just like it's so cynical. It's so cynical. So like again, going back to the beginning, it's not like none of us care like if you identify as a male or female. It's that like the people who really are running the show, like Larry fucking Fink, okay, doesn't give a fuck about this dude. Okay, like it's just.
Oh no, of course not. Of course not. And all it does, and really, they don't really care about whatever fucking culture bullshit is going on. But ultimately, what this does is like ultimately, what this does is like is it again? It just makes people look ridiculous.
It's just they need to perpetuate capitalism, so they need to pretend that they're appealing to everybody. Like they don't care that they'll lose money. This is them losing money instead of being taxed to hell and not giving us health care. Like, okay, they're basically taxing themselves because they're like, capitalism's going to fall apart if we don't freaking do this.
Exactly. It's like it's like I said before. I'm
So
friends with plenty. I'm friends with plenty of gay folks, plenty of lesbian folks, plenty of trans folks, and none of them believe in any of this, of like this kind of shit.
No.
None of them. None of them are as bought in as the people online are.
They're like normal
and it's
people.
ridiculous.
Just
It's
trying
crazy.
to live their life.
Yeah.
So while Fink has combated claims that ESG is a politically
Most people
driven
just want to
product-
be left alone for the most part.
100%.
Yeah.
100% agree. The president of the Human Rights Campaign, which doles out the CI ranking, is a former political organizer for Barack Obama. Interesting. HRC sends representatives to corporations every year telling them what kind of stuff they have to make visible at the company. They give them a list of demands, and if they don't follow through, there's a threat you won't keep your CEI score. The ESG is a highly subjective political score infiltrating all walks of life, added Derek Riefel, CEO of State Financial Officers Foundation and leading voice against the ESG. The problems with measures like CEI and its big brother ESG is that it introduces an incentive structure outside the bounds of business, often in ways contradictory to fiduciary duties. So let's pause there for a second. So I could understand if you were a capitalist, you would be like, this is bad because we're losing money. I am not a capitalist. I'm an anti-capitalist. So it's funny to me either way. Like seeing them lose money over this stuff because like they know it's not going to work because they have to do it is just one of those contradictions that like capitalism is going through, and it's just hilarious to me. So anyway, I thought that was like a pretty good article. So now let's take a look at Anheuser-Busch score so we can kind of like see what some of the highlights here. So you can see Big Fat 100, of course, and again, this is Larry Fink's company. Okay, he's gonna make sure that like he's got all that woke bullshit down pat. So the kind of ones that I thought were important. So supporting an inclusive culture and corporate social responsibility. Okay. So 3 distinct efforts of outreach or engagement to broader LGBTQ community. Okay. So tell me what that is. That sounds like to me like being able to sell some advertising to Dylan. You know, that's how I see it. So as far as this is in the context of everything's going on, you know, I'm 100% say that like maybe this freaking dumbass VP of marketing, although she went to a freaking, you know, Harvard and freaking Wharton, like maybe she doesn't actually believe the bullshit. Maybe she's just doing it because she knows the CI score is zooming over and she's just like faking it till she makes it. But like
Kid Rock was never a good gamer. Just want to say. He was never good.
No, never.
Exactly. Exactly. Bill Bradley's got it. He's got it. Wonderful takes tonight, Brad. Just gotta say.
Good to know.
Bill.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of what I see as they definitely have to do it. So what's some of the other stuff here? Obvious ones, that's actually kind of reasonable. Policy includes sexual orientation for all operations, includes gender identity or expression for all operations. So like I don't know what that means, but whatever. Inclusive benefits, equivalency in same and different sex spousal medical and soft benefits, equivalence in same and different sex domestic partner medical and soft benefits, equal health coverage for transgender individuals without exclusion from medically necessary care. Okay. And then supporting an inclusive culture and corporate social responsibility. 3, LGBTQ, internal training and education best practices. So that's indoctrination. Okay. Employee group or diversity council. Again, indoctrination. 3 distinct efforts of outreach or engagement to broader LGBTQ community. The LGBTQ community. So that's Dylan. And then LGBTQ corporate social responsibility, whatever the hell that means. So, and then I guess responsible citizenship is something that hasn't been done. But let's see. So yeah, I think we can probably switch back to you at this point.
Yeah, am I the only one who thinks it's like ironic that Human Rights Campaign also, like the acronym for it, also stands for Hillary
Hillary
Rodham
Rodham.
Clinton.
I know. I always think
Am I the only one who thought that, or is that just me? Like,
no. I
did
definitely
you also? That was
I
also
didn't.
like
I
a
didn't
side
know.
thought.
I didn't know that was connected to like the CEI until like I saw that article. I was like, oh shit, it's all connected.
Yeah, that's a really great article. That really kind of like explains why Dylan Mulvaney is like really like taking the rounds.
He's just a
now.
pawn.
Really,
He's just a pawn. Like, and it's
Yeah.
it's like I don't know how you can look at it other than as cynical. But
Yeah.
if
Do
you
you even
can
want to
split-
touch the Riley Gaines shit, or do you want to just?
I mean, I did kind of want to like. It's kind of crazy. Why are we getting kind of into it?
No. I was wondering. You
I
said
definitely
that-
like. There's definitely. It's because that's like the Dylan stuff's obviously kind of sensational, and I think it's
that really is like the more like culture bullshitty part, and like
that's
both
like
sides
that
are
is more culture war part, but there is
Yeah.
kind of other stuff of how like this kind of like gender ideology is just being pushed on us that happen in other ways, and I kind of wanted to show some of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's more so like how companies are kind of like lockholded into like this situation where they're like they have to like aggressively market this like sensationalism because this is the only thing that are like talked about. It's the only thing that's like really talked about amongst like online circles. So they automatically think that this is like the like go to. Like,
I don't know.
This is like this is like this is like you. I mean, that's what that's
because I also think it's a part of I think, and it kind of goes with Larry Fink, is that it's also part of the transhumanist movement. So like,
I agree with that. But like I see like these like subsidiaries of like he's like investing purposely in these like extremely like gender ideological radical movements that like are insane on purpose to so that they could police all these other companies and all these like
get them all to fall in line
brands and get them all to fall in the line. Yeah, no, exactly. It's basically, I mean, really, like you can't really think of capitalism as like all these like elites like just working together against you. No, they're competing against each other as well.
Well,
they're all competing against each other. But they dominated influence and control over like in different tiers. Like, you know what I mean?
The elites also have class consciousness, so like they don't have to have like a cabal to operate under the same principles. They know how capitalism works. They know how to like fulfill themselves. That's why there's this thing going on where they're like, we know we're losing money doing this CEI stuff. It's freaking stupid. Why are we doing the CEI and ESG stuff? And it's like, well, it's just one of those contradictions because the place it's all falling apart. So
yeah, it's like it's like the elites like have more of an understanding of socialism than we do, which is really crazy.
Very true. But that's how they're able to stay in power.
Socialism for the rich.
But yeah, so pull up the one. There's
the speech.
For Riley Gaines, she does the speech in the beginning at San Francisco State University. So just really quick, I think everybody probably remembers. It's like a couple of years ago, I guess. There was a trans woman, Leah Thomas, who competed on the swim team, and since then, the second place holder, who used to be like champions, has been a little bit more of an activist recently and got invited to the school to speak.
My name is Riley Gaines. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Kentucky, where I was on the women's swim team. I proudly finished my career as a 12-time NCAA All-American, a 5-time SEC champion. I am one of the fastest 200 butterflyers of all time. But on March 7th,
give it a moment to load. 1 second.
Man. Lot of multimedia tonight.
You know, it's I've got like 3 tabs open. I've got like a bunch of tabs open.
Yeah, I had a bunch of tabs open. I was wondering.
This part is part of it is like Google Chrome. It takes up so much RAM for no reason.
Use Brave, man.
Should I? I should, right?
Mm-hmm. Uses
because
if you want to, you can use Chrome plugins, but it doesn't have all the freaking spyware that comes.
I gotta message you about that later. But
it's gonna play. Is it still loading? I can't see.
Let's do a refresh. The technical difficulties tonight are off the. This is why I think the CIA hacks into independent media sometimes. I think they really do.
Dude, it's so funny. So, like, episode, like, Last American Vagabond, like, his internet starts acting janky. He's like, I don't know, guys. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Something's going on. This is.
Just saying, guys.
They can't just like tell me this. This doesn't happen when I'm not streaming. I mean, maybe it's taking up a certain amount of bandwidth. I mean, perhaps. I don't know. But oh my gosh,
they're listening. They're listening to keywords. They're listening to keywords. And just...
Yeah, that's
like
yeah.
That's even like I was watching Grey Zone, and he was like, you can't say Seth Rich, or they just turn the bandwidth way down.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about. That's what I was thinking about There's something about the Cash App guy thing too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a set. It's like.
But so it's like everybody thinks it's a conspiracy, but at the same time, it's like, well, maybe. I mean, I could see something where they listen for keywords and then they just throttle it if they hear certain keywords.
I'm a recent graduate from the University of Kentucky, where I was on the women's swim team. I proudly finished my career as a 12-time NCAA All-American, a 5-time SEC champion. I am one of the fastest 200 butterflyers of all time. But on March 17th of last year, my teammates and I and other female swimmers from universities around the country were forced to compete against a biological male named Leah Thomas. Thomas was allowed to compete in the women's division after competing as a member of the University of Pennsylvania's men's swim team for 3 years. We watched on the side of the pool as Thomas won a national title in the 500-yard freestyle, beating out the most impressive and accomplished female athletes in the country, including Olympians and American record holders. Whereas just the year before, Thomas at best was ranking in the 400s in the men's category. The next day, Thomas and I raced in the 200 freestyle, which ended up in a tie. We went the exact same time down to the 100th of a second. Having only one trophy, the NCAA told me that I would go home empty-handed and this trophy would go to Thomas.
Wow.
And when I questioned this, the NCAA told me that Thomas had to hold it for photo purposes. I was shocked. I felt betrayed and belittled, reduced to a photo op. But my feelings didn't matter. What mattered to the NCAA were the feelings of a biological male. In 1972, Congress enacted Title IX to end unjust sex discrimination in all aspects of education, including college athletics. But by allowing Thomas to displace female athletes in the pool and on the podium, the NCAA intentionally and explicitly discriminated on the basis of sex. Although the NCAA claimed it acted in the name of inclusion, its policies in fact excluded female athletes. But that is not all. In addition to being forced to give up our awards, our titles, and our opportunities, the NCAA forced female swimmers to share a locker room with Thomas, a 6'4", 22-year-old male who was fully intact with male genitalia. Let me be clear. We were not forewarned. We were not asked for our consent, and we did not give our consent. If nothing else, I hope you can truly see how this is a violation of our privacy and how some of us have felt uncomfortable, awkward, embarrassed, and even traumatized by this experience. I know I don't speak for everyone. It's impossible to speak for everyone, but I can attest to the tears that were shed on that pool deck by these poor 9th and 17th place finishers who missed out on being named an All-American by 1 place. And I can attest to the extreme discomfort in the locker room when you turn around and there's a male watching you undress while exposing himself. I can attest to the anger and frustration from these girls who had worked so hard and sacrificed so much to get to this point. Unfortunately, our experiences are not unique. The number of female athletes who have been denied opportunities, again, traumatized or hurt by policies that claim to be promoting inclusion, is growing at an alarming rate around this country. It's simply unacceptable, and the integrity of women's sports is lost.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks so much.
Cool. So
yeah, like I don't understand. So why can't we have different categories in terms of like why can't we have a trans women's section?
So that's starting to happen. I didn't want to get too much,
and then a women's section, and then a men's section, and then a trans men's section. We could do that. Why can't we do that?
What's starting to happen is you're starting to see open categories. Some states are doing open categories, so men and women, whoever competing. Can you not hear me?
Well, that's different. That's combining the two genders.
Well,
I'm saying I'm saying like a whole distinct separate category for trans women who want to compete with each other, and they have like their own division. They have their own locker rooms.
If they
want
want to
bathrooms, and then women's, you have 4 bathrooms. This is how it works. There's 2 genders.
Let's get back to our objective. Hold on,
right,
I'm not getting. Let's get back to our objective reality for a second. Let's get back to our objective reality.
All right, okay. No, I'm with the biology. I'm there. Okay. All right. I'm giving the.
That's
I'm
absurd.
Giving you the biological argument.
The day that 4 bathrooms are up is just. Come on. You think that's gonna happen?
I'm not saying that that's a reality. What I'm saying is that if you're a company and you want to do this, then you have to build 4 bathrooms, and you have to build 4 locker rooms, and you have to make 4 separate divisions in women's sports.
See, but that's why I think that's
4 separate divisions in like gender sports.
Okay, but here's kind of where here's kind of how I see what she was saying in this speech about having to like being subjected to like male genitalia in the bathroom. I think that speaks to more of like it's not just like them trying to pass stuff or have laws that give them like some equality. It's biological men forcing themselves into private situations with women, like forcing themselves.
Well, that's how exactly. Well, that's how it's currently set up, and I'm saying that's exactly where the issue lies, because people are able to take advantage of it. There's actually, and I didn't want to mention it, but have you heard of transmaxing yet?
I don't know. I may know what it is, but
I don't think you want to know what it is. I don't think you want to know. Should I even talk about it? It's disgusting.
I mean, it's just like people who take like shitloads of hormones to freaking.
No, so it's an incel movement, right? It's an incel movement that is predicated on the concept that women inherently have it better in society than men, so that they're treated better if they're women, and that they convert into women in order to have sex with like real like cis women. It's gross.
What?
Or like not cis like cis like lesbian women. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, that's another thing. Is that Leah Thomas apparently is a lesbian.
Yeah, so it's like a 4chan like incel trend like that's like it's like transmaxing, and you don't want to look it up. You really don't. It's kind of gross.
Oh, so it's just incels hooking up with each other.
It's like some Chris Chan like really dumb shit. Like it's really.
Oh my god.
It's really not worth getting. If you're really depraved as I am on YouTube, then you can go ahead. But I mean,
no, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of like sympathize with her. Like maybe she's being like even if you're being like really like cynical about it, and she's just like crocodile tears. Like, man, come on, that's still like shitty. I still think it's like you should have like a choice, especially like maybe that's another thing is like maybe men don't really understand, because I heard this the other day, and it made me look at kind of like the power dynamic between men and women in a different way. But like men don't, like women always worry about who's behind them or like what's around them when they're walking to their car. That's not something that like goes through men's like skull. Like women are always worried about what's around them. And so like imagine like having that kind of mindset because you live in a patriarchal world. Like we're men, we just like kind of lack that kind of like concept. But like, and then you're like in a bathroom and that like you're being like subjugated to that. I don't know. It just seems like it's like there's that's why we like I see this as kind of like a really like a patriarchal argument more than like a trans movement. Like not trying to get into like the culture war shit. This is like speaking to like a more insidious thing about like basically having like a really male dominated culture. Like I know
it is inherently patriarchal, and that's like really what it is. I mean, the like the overreach of like feminism is a kind of like where it's also like patriarchal too, because it hurts women in a
yes, in a different way, like the freaking Soros way. Like
yeah, exactly. And it also gaslights them and it makes them believe that what they're doing is good.
Well, it's like I was watching this thing. Do you ever watch Shoe? So
Shoe on Head?
Yeah, so she had one the other day, and like it just like got out of my head. Oh yeah, she was like critiquing on talking about trad wives, and basically it comes down to like people are just jealous that like people like women are able to kind of like fulfill their roles and live as like homemakers.
That's a whole different like gender debate.
But I understand, but we're kind of like saying like on the one hand, like feminism kind of like gave women the idea of kind of like being in the workforce was a good way when like you could look at the other way as like they just wanted like a cheaper tax base. That's why they encourage women to get into the workforce. And it also
personally, I think communists should embrace tradition. I really think they should. But
I like understand more. I think like I used to kind of have that more liberal mindset, like people can be whatever, but I think like gender roles are a thing. Like I think that there are certain things like coming back to what I was saying, like I think women who decide that they want to be like housewives and want to be homemakers and want to raise children and want to be like cook food for their husband and their kids and like homeschool or whatever, like I think that's like a noble thing. If you want to be like a really awesome like mom and wife and that like that's your goal, like that's cool, good for you, like. And what she was saying towards and what she was saying toward the end is basically like people are pissed now because like the economy is so bad that no one's in a position to basically have like a single income household where the woman can stay at home and be a homemaker while the husband's out making all the money.
Well, like I didn't like. I also like.
She was really good, bad, but she's really good looking. I think she also has pretty good taste most of the time. But I think
for the most part, like, fuck. Now my train of thought is
it's true though, but like, it's just I think they're making a good point. But we can switch over to this now, I guess. So I guess these are some different videos in here. Let me see where we're at. Yeah, so there's some different videos in there. You'll see trans activists rush to room where Riot Gaines was speaking. You can play that one.
I was going to mention like how some of these different ones. For the most part, like what I was just saying before, where most people just want to be just left alone. That's really what I believe fundamentally.
Yeah.
And you should be able to do whatever you want to do. And
like I totally think
and
that
really like this
trans
like gender,
people,
whatever this gender whatever the gender argument is, it really doesn't like matter like fundamentally on the individual level. It really doesn't. I mean, people are gonna like continue doing whatever they believe they were, run under like this like environment, whatever they were essentially like born into. Really, I mean, I'd imagine a lot of like what you were talking about, like with like trad wives, is for the most part just women who were like raised in like a more like traditional household, and so thus like they take after their parents and
I think that's part of it.
The whole psychology too. I mean, I think that's like a fundamentally like biological argument. But
But like, it's like, have you ever been around women with and somebody else has like a little baby and they all like freak out and then like get like baby fever and they want to like see the baby and they want to like take care of baby and then they're like, you ever meet women like that? Like there's like things that people have like I feel like have like an innate like
they produce more. Well, women produce more oxytocin, so that's why they're more like natural caretakers.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're more. I mean, yeah, women are like are like biologically more prone to be better caretakers than men. And
Blair White pretty much has like a shitty take on everything except for like the trans debate.
Yeah,
like absolutely terrible political takes.
Yeah. When it comes to the whatever trans culture thing is going on, I tend to agree with like the libertarian trans girls that are whoever on the internet right now.
Well, and like Blair White makes
like
the argument of kind of what you were saying, like there's like women and there's trans women, and that's okay. Like,
was this on YouTube?
I pulled it all from. They could be on YouTube, but I was pulling them off of that site. You didn't have to make them full screen. Why? Like, what internet are you on? It's struggling, huh?
I'm on T-Mobile.
Using a hotspot?
No. They got. Here we go. They got like wireless internet. It's a pretty good deal because I have T-Mobile. Because like I also get I get $10 off because it's also my phone plan. I'm just pulling up YouTube.
Yeah.
This is not.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, the technical difficulties are off the charts tonight. We're dealing with something else. This is where the CIA is coming in. The CIA is there. This is intelligence within. If you're fed in chat, raise your hand.
So, I want to get to like Bill's thing really quick. So he's talking about patriarchy and hierarchy. Reason you got to get rid of patriarchy is because if you go down to a society and you have an eliminated patriarchy, then patriarchy stays. So you have to. It's like why reform doesn't work. It's why like reactionaryism, like being a reactionary doesn't work. It's all bullshit. Like you have to take it down. Like I understand class is an issue. But I think that patriarchy is a major element that people don't pay attention to because it's so pervasive in society.
It's just chugging along on this one. All right, folks. So what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm not a socialist either.
You wouldn't call you? Well, I mean, that's the thing. Socialist is
like it's like a different. I'm different. Like,
well, what would you call yourself?
I don't. I would consider myself an anarchist. Like I don't. I think.
What do you mean an anarchist in what way? I mean, what is that?
I don't think government should exist. I think that like people are better off in like little groups figuring out for themselves, and like you can figure it all out through like
sort of like
syndicalisms. Yeah, like I'm a syndicalist, but like I understand. So I think Bill's kind of on the same page anyway. So like yes, like I think syndicalism for the most part is how you like overthrow the government, but I think that like probably like some sort of anarcho-communism is like the most natural way that like I'm familiar with of how people just like exist.
Well, I mean, I would understand a society as like something that's like a communal thing. I mean, we're a human race after all. You know what I mean? And that's like, well, I mean, I understand like the nature of like communism as something that's, I mean, obviously it's in the name. It's like inherently communal. Like that's the point, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the big issue I have with communism is like nobody seems to really want to get to the like stateless part. And so like you end up putting all your eggs in one basket with like an authoritarian regime, and they can like give you all nice things like healthcare and like good wages and like a steady job and like a house, but you're still under like an authoritarian government. So like fast trains are not everything.
It could depend. I mean, like I think every like communist like whatever like leader has like played a role in certain circumstances.
I'm not knocking like I like a lot of where Marx is coming from, but there's like
It's
a
not.
lot that I like.
It's more like Lenin. I mean, Lenin really like kind of.
I mean, I take more
kinda
issue with Lenin because he was like for all of the things that he did, he was still like an authoritarian. Like he still wanted to
In
like
what
rule
way?
everybody. What?
This is
he still
a
wanted
conversation for a new day. This is a totally different conversation.
I just like I don't agree with using the state to get rid of the state. Like that doesn't there's no time in history where that makes any sense. Like Marxist Leninism is kind of like a priori. Like they like want to use the state and then the state just kind of like makes itself redundant and just goes away. That doesn't happen. Eventually the state's going to want to reinforce itself, keep doing things to make you want to keep the state. Stuff like a military, stuff like healthcare, stuff like fast transportation. So like that's why I think like for everything good that you could say something about like China, like at the end of the day, China's China forever. It's never going to be communist.
We're gonna try this disable extension, see if that's like gonna work.
Man, you're having a hard time with this, huh?
Yeah, can you maybe you try pulling it up? Hold on. Here we go.
It still won't give me sound. China's definitely not communist. It's like socialist at best. Like
independent.
A conversation for a new day. But yeah. I'm gonna convince you one day. I'm gonna turn you into a communist one day. It's gonna at least like partially, like somewhat.
Women's Forum spokeswoman and former college swimmer Riley Gaines says that she was attacked and barricaded inside a classroom at San Francisco State University campus last week. This was after she was giving a speech criticizing transgender athletes competing against biological women. Let's take a look.
It's just me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
People are crazy.
I'm coming. I'm good. I'm good.
Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then she could go. $10 each. Because she probably got paid for this shit, so we could get paid for it too.
Public campus that we attend.
So what's the end goal here? We're cooperating, so what's next?
So
We can get it out.
We do their job and get her out. We created a path. It's here.
I can't speak to all of you when we're over talking to each other. We're not going to.
Don't let her hold!
SFSU released a statement claiming the attack was mostly just students, quote, peacefully protesting, and that it required, quote, tremendous bravery to confront the speaker. Well, Gaines appeared on Fox News yesterday to reject.
Yeah.
Pull up some different ones. Do you have some other ones pulled up? Let me see what else we got here. But yeah, there was just like, you could see her running away and stuff. It's not like a huge deal if it's too much of a pain at this point. But you can at least, I guess you could pull up the Tucker thing.
Maybe I gotta. Yeah, no. Can I get? I'll just get to the Tucker thing.
Yeah, just like go by the timestamps that I put on the doc as well. Okay, because like Tucker says some pretty cringe stuff. Yeah. Well, you can, like he says some cringe stuff. Just really quick, I want to say like he totally like misgenders and like you can tell he's like super like not cool with it, and like I'm not.
Yeah, there's
that guy.
I think there's like a fundamental difference. I think that you can have like a median kind of take with this. And again,
I'm trying to have a nuanced take with it, but unfortunately, like she had an interview on Tucker Carlson, so like we're gonna watch some Tucker Carlson. And
I mean, Tucker, I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, Noam Chomsky. I mean, what's his name? Cornel West can go on for Fox News. So I don't understand why. I don't understand why.
Yeah, exactly.
Is such a...
Because at its core is
if you're still talking about the platforming shit, you're like you're not serious about. Like,
oh, I know. I just like I was listening to him like, he's kind of cringe in some of these, but like,
yeah, Tucker's
just skip.
Tucker always is a little cringe. If you want me to
skip to minute 40. Minute 40. Man, you're all over the place, man. What are you doing?
It's going. Because I think it was still buffering that part.
With this cult specifically, that is inevitable.
We're better off
just
just watching.
Is a provable lie.
Well, it's very long, so
defied
you really
and
can't.
revealed
No,
by the
we'll just
changing laws
stop
of science. We do not have the power to change our sex. It is in our DNA. It is in our bone
He's like
structure.
really cringe.
You dig up fossilized skeleton thousands of years later, and you can tell it's sex. We can't change that, much as we might want to, much as we might feel deep sympathy for those who want to. We still can't
Is that better?
change it.
We can just wait.
Is true
for it to load while it.
And so, of course, they have to.
You really can't skip
Sorry,
it?
my internet cannot handle it. Watch.
Damn. All right.
Or maybe it can.
Teammates were forced to compete in women's swimming competitions. Gaines was brave enough to
There you
say
go.
something about it. She came on our show last July.
That night
So
we
this is
watched
last
Leah
year.
Thomas win a national title and blow all the other females completely out of the water. And that next day we came back and the mood had shifted to where people were mad. The girls, there were tears. These poor 9th and 17th place finishers who missed out on being named an All-American. There's extreme discomfort in the locker room. There's, kind of these grumbles of...
Is he wandering around the women's locker room?
Yeah. And that's not something, we were forewarned about, which I don't think is right in any means. Changing in a locker room with someone who has different parts.
So you can probably tell just from that clip that Riley Gaines
You
is
can
not an
skip
ideologue.
to like 4:54 now, I guess. If it'll let you. Yeah, he's just super cringe.
I think
all
we're
that.
good now.
Entities. We're not overstating. Here's what it looked like.
Just me. I'm good. I'm fine. You got me. I'm good. I'm coming. I'm good. I'm good. Trust me. I'm good. Go ahead.
Fucking maniac.
See, like that statement is like something that I don't like. I don't think
It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe not something that exactly. That's why I think that the really the distinguishment between like trans women and women and again, there's nothing wrong with that either, with being a trans woman.
No one's saying
you
that.
would just have a different category and that's it.
Well, also pause it again. Let's be clear. It's like other thing that's kind of like subtle, might not be as obvious, is that like the like whole trans movement thing is really like a trans woman thing movement. Okay, like the people,
that's really what it is. Yeah,
it's not really about trans men at all. Okay, so when you look at it as not specifically like the whole umbrella and see it for what it is, you see that it really is like when somebody says trans rights are human rights, they're basically saying trans rights, men's rights. Like like you have to kind of like you have to look at it from like a patriarchal
That's
angle.
what I get from the transmaxing thing.
Like
That's
these
what I
are
mean
this
by
is
that.
like this is some fucking
When I say
men's rights shit.
yeah.
It's fucking crazy. So like these people who are like doing this stuff, like they're trying to basically like elevate men's rights. Like if you want to like pass as a woman, however that may be, but now at this point you can have a beard on and all that stuff, do whatever you want. Like you can have these new privileges bestowed onto you. Like that's how I see it. So like it's just this is insane. This is insane. This is not the Friends I know. This is like somebody said it was kind of glows, and like maybe like these people are vicious. It does look like some freaking crazy instigated crap. This is nuts. Like hysterical people.
Why are you so hostile?
Why are they so hostile? Like that's psycho.
Like what? I don't know.
Psycho.
That's the most dangerous extremist group in the United States. There's no mistake.
I know.
Okay.
Just gotta
It is
imagine.
really bad.
You just gotta.
It is really bad.
You just gotta imagine that there's some boomer sitting on the couch watching it, and they're like,
they're just like everyone in chat, all your parents are sitting on the couch like, yeah, wow,
yeah,
I can't believe this is an outrage. I can't believe
these
it.
are the terrorists.
Meanwhile, like they're getting away with child trafficking, like
it's just ridiculous.
And they're all getting. Where's Epstein's client list? They were. I just was watching something about Unredacted about J.P. Morgan coming out with the. No, they don't actually care about children. It's you know, it's about
Riley Gaines once again is not an ideologue or a demagogue.
Yeah, you can move it to, I think, was it 6:45? Yeah, 6:45. That's a new interview.
She's not out for coming on. Was that as horrifying as it looked?
I mean, it was terrifying for me. The police did not inform me of any sort of action plan. Turning Point USA invited me to the campus. I delivered a very civil and respectful speech where I had great dialogue with even protesters who were participating in a sit-in. All of a sudden, after my speech, the room was stormed. The lights were turned off, and I was rushed with no one there to escort me to a safe place. I was punched, I was hit multiple times, I was shoved, until finally we exited the room. But we could not leave because the protesters flooded the halls, and so I was pushed into a classroom along that hallway where I was barricaded in for 3 hours.
3 hours? Why didn't someone with a gun come and bring you to safety?
Because they were terrified. They were scared to put their hands on these people because they know what these people are capable of. These people yelled.
They're capable of taking your job away.
Obscene, violent, vulgar things to both myself and the officers, I could tell, didn't feel comfortable putting them in a position that would mean they do their job, which is a really scary, chilling thought.
Like
this is the most dangerous extremist movement.
Just absolutely insane people. It's crazy. Like they're just screaming, raging. Like, come on.
It's everyone. Everyone is just fucking insane. They're crazy. Like we're literally, this is the number one issue in America. This is what we're
more violent than January 6th. This was for 9/11.
They're openly having child slave markets all across the United States.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's a number one issue. I'm just saying this is something that's happening. This
is where they're choosing to focus on.
About whatever. Yeah, it's really pathetic. It's kind of like and to call this like a trans genocide is like very disingenuous.
It's like that's a little problematic.
It's such a dumb, like, because you understand like how little trans people, like how little people are actually trans. It's not that big of a deal.
Insane. Yeah, like this is crazy. No one really. That's why when Brad said like it looks like a psyop or so, like it glows, I was like, yeah, like
it is a bit.
It does look a little glowy because like they're just so fucking crazy and violent. But like that, I don't know. I've never met somebody that deranged. that's ever like yelled in my face about stuff. I don't know. That's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how much left is in this interview. If you want to keep playing it.
I think this.
In the United States right now, it's getting bigger, not smaller. It's gaining steam, not losing it. The White House has endorsed it. I mean, what does this mean for you? And I just can't say it again since I happen to know you. You are an inherently moderate person who means harm to no one. But are you worried about your safety going forward?
You know, I am worried about my safety. I have to be now. When we have people who are willing to do this, and we know why they're willing to do this, it's because they don't have reason, they don't have logic, they don't have science, they don't have common sense on their side. That's on my side. And so they protrude by violence, whether it's physical or verbal violence. But what this means for me, this does not deter me. This assures me that I am doing the right thing. This will not silence me when they want me to be silenced. It just means I need to speak louder.
Really quick, did anyone in the state of California in authority, any political figure, for example, defend you?
No, not the dean of students, not the campus police. I will say the city of San Francisco police that stepped in, they did a phenomenal job in escorting 3 hours later. But I will be pursuing legal action. I will ensure that the people who physically assaulted me, the people who put me in that position, they will face repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't identify that as evil, then we've really lost the thread. Riley Gaines, I'm glad you're still here, and
Absolutely.
Godspeed. Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much.
So that kind of brings that segment kind of full circle, but like I just like you saw, everybody saw it. Like those people are nuts. Like those are not normal people. Like what is going on here? So why is people they're supposed to be trying to like honor by like trying to be them, and then they attack them? Like what? It's just it's so backwards to me. I don't understand. Like
Anyone who's hyper focusing on that issue is like just
completely
insane. They're absolutely.
There's just one more. I guess there's just one more clip with the ballerina. I just kind of wanted to again kind of going back to like the patriarchal issue that like I don't think people are paying attention to, that I think is like the bigger issue here. So this person, now this is like not the most recent thing, but this person who is like 33 decided to become a ballerina. There should be another one that has a video by Redux.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So this person became a ballerina at 33, got into the Royal Academy at 33 or something after doing it for 1 year. So yeah, you can pause it. But so Sophie Rebecca, yeah. So as a trans woman, I feel like something fishy is going on. The teacher here in Ontario is for sure a dude, but it's too controversial for me to say that these guys are not trans women. So
yeah, exactly. I feel like there's like people like purposely taking advantage of the trend in order to like basically try to bang girls.
That's why we give women like the rights that they have. That's why we give them the right to privacy. That's why like we make sure they have their own training rooms. That's why like they have their own sports. It's because we know that
males are inherently like predatory creatures. Like they're gonna figure out a way. Like this,
it's just
the whole transmixing thing is just like another way of like them like figuring out a way to like get their kill.
It's just people aren't recognizing the like extreme power imbalance between men and women, and like
Yeah.
Like maybe the man thinks it's no big deal, like, but obviously sick in the head. But like it could be really traumatizing for a woman to have to freaking like be subjected to that, and they have to keep their mouth shut. Like, I think that would suck. But yeah, so I don't know like how many people know kind of how ballerina going into ballet works, but it's not like you just wake up one day and you do it. Like these people, like the women who go into it, something they've been doing since like 4 or 5, 6 years old. Okay, like I had friends because when I lived in Orlando, my roommate was going out with one of the people in the ballet crew, and so like I knew all of them, and they've all been doing it forever. And they all have a very, very slender figure, very leg specific figure. They all look the type. They all been doing it for 20 years. So when you see this person who's 33 year old like biological male who's just like I'm gonna do it and gets in the Royal Academy, like whose rights is it really about at that point? Like women are having a harder time than trans women. Women gonna have to like pretend to be women to be able to compete against trans women. Like what's going on here? Like why are women losing their opportunities to trans women? So that's like driving me crazy. I agree that most people are not acting like this, but this is the stuff that's getting the attention, and like it does kind of need to be nipped in the bud. Like this sort of stuff speaks to a bigger picture. Maybe people aren't crazy, but this speaks to a bigger picture of just like the patriarchy again, just making it like a male dominated environment. Because if ballet dancers are now like the female ballet dancer is now in the image of what a trans woman is, that's not the same as like a freaking woman, so now like the female ballet dancers are expected to have an image that's in the image of what a trans woman or like a biological male thinks that a woman should look like. It's like there's like another layer to it's completely fucked up. Kind of breaks my bandwidth a little bit, but that's like why we need to be more careful about this stuff. And it's like beyond just being culture war, because I just see it becoming like a basically like a much more patriarchal environment than I thought was possible. Like, oh my God, like all the men know that all the like really fucked up people, all the people who have an agenda know that they can now pretend to be women to get like, to be able to do these things. So that's like a men's rights movement, like that's like the secret code to be able to like do all these really like debaucherous things and all these terrible things to women. This is all you have to do now. Like, that's not a healthy environment. So anyway, definitely not. I think that's about it for that one.
It's a. I mean, no matter what.
I try and have nuance. Like not even talking about surgery. I'm not even talking about passing. You do whatever the hell you want, but there's like more insidious shit going on.
No, for sure. That's why, like,
like seeing that stuff out the CEI score is like, can't take it seriously anymore.
No, there definitely seems to be some kind of like push. I mean, I can't really describe it, but I'm not really...
I mean, we haven't even talked about the transhumanist aspect really of it, but like, what's his name? Corbett, James
Corbett,
from Corbett Report. He does like a pretty good response on it. And like one of the things he says is like, it's not really about like transgenderism, it's about postgenderism, where they just basically abolish gender.
Right.
If they have freaking men who can look like women, then they're gonna have women who look like men who look like women. Like that's what's gonna happen. Like, so it's all fucked. I hope we wake up from this one, because this one seems to be sticking kind of hard. So what do you want to do? A strike?
Oh yeah, because
I think that's it. Did I have any more? I mean, I had one more, the Royal Academy, but I kind of went through it anyway. This person just
we're running like a little like late, anyway.
little long tonight.
A little long tonight anyway. But yeah, I did a. You can respond to this, but
Transformer.
I did want to cover the Rutgers U today because I went there for 2 years. I mean, this is like the biggest, pretty much like, and all the people from like the East Coast go here. I think even like Hassan Piker went here. Oddly enough,
Of course.
I went here. I went here for 2 years in like from like 2014 to 2016. This is where I saw Bernie at Rutgers.
Oh.
Like, this is like where like I was like introduced like the whole thing. This is like where I started giving a fuck about politics. But like, this is like, but like Rutgers is like, yeah, it's the biggest like state like NJ funded university, and the university president's like a gaslighting fuck. I mean, I did want to just glance over this, just so it gets at least some coverage.
Yeah, it's good. It's a teacher strike, right?
Well, the 8,000.
No, I mean, no, it's for grads too. I mean, like, you can kind of see. Let me. So it's also grads. It's adjunct facility, and it's also grad workers, and these are all.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, these are all the annual salaries of the neighboring, like, big name
colleges. So they're getting shafted bad,
and we are getting fucking shit on completely. It is bad. So
damn.
It's basically catastrophe capitalism. They're taking advantage of COVID, and they're just basically just using it as an excuse to like not like negotiate any new contracts or do any like sort of like fair labor.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of goes over like the history.
8,000 faculty members at Rutgers University are on the verge of a historic strike. The unions representing tenured professors, adjuncts, and graduate student instructors today began a 10-day-long vote on whether or not to authorize the strike as contract negotiations remain stalled. It could be the first ever walkout by professors in the school's history. Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan was in Newark, where union members rallied outside a Board of Governors meeting.
What do we want? Contracts! When do we want it? Now!
Rutgers faculty and staff rallied at the Newark campus to fire up union support for a strike authorization vote now underway. After working since last June without a contract, some 7,500 full and part-time professors, graduate students, and adjunct instructors could hit New Jersey State University with the first strike in its 255-year history.
And we will strike.
Wow.
Yeah. We are tired. We are fed up with the excuses. And we will win.
Understand that this fight is going to go on and on and on. But we here today to make a statement. And if we don't get it, we what? If we don't get it!
I'm glad no politician showed up here. I'm so glad.
So is Chris Smalls just the face of like unionizing now? Like,
in New Jersey, I think so. Yeah, New Jersey, the New York area. Like
they shot him out everywhere.
Like, yeah, essentially.
Like, what is he doing there? He's Amazon. It's just like, hey yo, labor organizing.
Yeah, I mean, this is
like it's just a fashion show for him.
He's basically. I mean, look at this. Look at
that drip, man.
Drip.
And if we don't get it, we what? If we don't get it.
Speakers like Chris Smalls, who organized the first Amazon union on Staten Island, rallied the crowd. Leaders for the two unions, the American Association of University Professors and the Rutgers adjunct faculty, say negotiations with Rutgers administrators have stalled.
We have demands that we think make this a better Rutgers for everyone, that fit the president's idea of a beloved community and really make us a fair place for everybody in the Rutgers community. And the university has responded by by rejecting all of our demands.
Contract demands include salary increases of 20% over 4 years for full-time professors, an immediate 23% raise to $37,000 a year for graduate workers, and equal pay for equal work by part-time adjunct professors, plus health benefits, a 2-year minimum appointment to start, and a path to tenure. Amy Heiger's been an
So
adjunct
hold on a
for
second.
years.
Our graduate hires, are they graduate workers? Do they live on campus? Do they have their own like 37,000 is fucking nothing.
Yeah, I know.
37,000, that's like what? Like
that's not even
18,
that's not that's
an hour?
No, that's not even 15. A lot of them are like asking for 15. It's crazy.
Yikes.
Yeah, this
is like
we're like this is catastrophe capitalism like at its
this is so bad. Like 37, like I could find a job.
Oh no, I could work at Chipotle right now and get paid more than 37,000.
Yeah, like unbelievable.
And a path to tenure. Amy
15 is
Heiger's
30K,
been an
yeah.
adjunct
So it's
for
like
years.
A lot of us are looking for full-time work, and we would love to teach at Rutgers. We love it here. We love our students, but they find that it's much cheaper to employ us piecemeal.
Critics point to Rutgers football coach Greg Schiano's salary, $32 million over 8 years, as a sign of misplaced priorities.
Why is the university spending millions of dollars on the black hole that is administrative costs in athletics?
And their football team sucks. They suck. They're fucking terrible. They're not even that good in terms of like college football. I mean, I'm not paying attention to like college egg ball.
Yeah.
But
it's not. They're like clearly mismanaging their money.
Yeah.
Throwing away millions.
$32 million?
Football coach Greg Schiano's salary, $32 million over 8 years, as a sign of misplaced priorities.
Why is the university spending millions of dollars on the black hole that is administrative costs in athletics? Throwing away millions of dollars for athletic debt for an awful football team.
We are very involved, I promise you, at the highest levels on both the union side, Rutgers side. I hope it's sooner than later that they find resolution and get this to the place it should be.
Governor Murphy's a pro-union Democrat, but Rutgers
No, he's not.
administration contains 2 holdovers from the Republican Christie administration, John Hoffman and David Cohen, viewed as anti-labor by union negotiators. A Rutgers spokeswoman says it has full confidence in our negotiating team, which faithfully represents the position of the university, and that administrators will continue to meet in good faith with them until we reach comprehensive agreements on mandatorily negotiable issues, including compensation, as quickly as possible.
It's time to bargain fair contracts, and our members are saying we don't want to go on strike, but if we have to, we will.
Voting will last for 10 days. It takes just a simple majority to authorize a strike, and union officials expect overwhelming support. In Newark, I'm Brenda Flanagan, NJ Spotlight News.
How big is Rutgers?
Big. It's the biggest. It's the biggest public university in the state, and a lot of people from New York come here too.
Mm-hmm.
I act like I live there. Like I live like miles up north. So like,
like nowhere.
I did live there for like a couple of years,
right?
So, I mean, and it's not like getting a dorm is cheap either. It's just it's probably more expensive than just getting an apartment, like a shitty fucking rundown apartment with rats.
Yeah, you're probably right, huh? So wait, so that 37K that they were arguing for, so it's less than 37. They're like, it's, dude.
Imagine trying to pay rent with that. You're not with the real estate with the real estate prices going up now. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Dude,
so
that's like,
this is pure. I don't know what, like, this is like just pure gaslighting here. And this is the president, Jonathan Holloway, Rutgers, right? He's saying, we hope the courts would not have to be called upon to halt an unlawful strike. No one wants that, nor does anyone want the faculty or those to go without pay for an illegal
it's just
strike.
like, he's just trying to scare
It's illegal.
people. He's just that's like more. He just wants everybody to read it, scare off some people. Because if like they have to vote on the strike, so if like some people who would be eligible to strike might get freaked out by reading something like that, like it's all spin.
I was told from an insider that he actually like sent an email, like an F email, like later today, and I'm supposed to get like screenshots, but like it was all about like how it's like
they're trying to fuck with the teachers.
They're trying to like argue that it's illegal, that like it's
exactly. It's like when freaking Amazon sent out like the Pinkertons like in their freaking distribution centers to spy on all their employees.
Like this, yeah, like they're trying to argue that this is it's an illegal strike because they're public sector workers, which makes zero sense.
You can strike
because they're all unionized.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
So what's the point of being in a union if you can't strike?
Well, no. So like the reason
the
railway strike they couldn't because of a bill that freaking Bernie Sanders of all people.
And that's what this guy is trying to do. That's what the president of Rutgers.
They're probably trying to say they're probably trying to pull it out of their house because like the rail workers like they can literally get the cops on them and freaking get it's like arrested for striking. It's a completely different ball game for them. It's like really fucking fascist.
Yeah, exactly. So they went ahead with it.
94% of members.
It's going on. It happened this Monday morning. I think it's going to happen like continue.
94%. So it's like freaking unanimous.
Yeah, no. They're like, all ready to go.
They're all like, fuck this. Like,
yeah, they're all ready to go.
Faculty unions voted yes to authorize a strike. You made it clear. We are strike ready.
Because we're fighting for a better Rutgers for our students, our communities, and ourselves as workers.
We are strike ready because of the organizing work of hundreds of you, our members. We made calls, we sent texts, we knocked on doors.
We've taken it to the streets to say that we are Rutgers because it's time for a fair contract now.
It's time for equal pay for equal work. It's time for job security.
It's time for access to health care.
It's time for a rent freeze for our students and communities. And it's time for control over our course schedules.
It's time for guaranteed funding packages for grads that match our real timelines.
It's time for a livable wage for grads and all Rutgers workers.
It's time for pay transparency, and it's time for support for our libraries and our librarians.
It's time for support for the care for our families.
It's time for clean and safe workspaces.
It's time for campus equity. It's time to have a say when positions are slashed.
It's time for COVID-impacted research support for grads.
It's time for course caps that allow for us to really address our student needs. It's time to support the health and safety of all students and workers at Rutgers.
It doesn't end here with this vote. It begins here.
It's time to prep the picket line.
It's time to strike.
That's a good point, Bill Bradley, about the air traffic controllers. But I don't think the education system would apply.
Yeah. So
it's
going to be ongoing.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, it's shitty that they have to do it, but like, it's good that they're so unanimous and all together about doing it.
Yeah. And I did have there's one tweet that I had earlier.
I mean, I don't think to go off of that, I don't think any industry should apply. Every industry should be able to strike. Shouldn't be just like, oh, it's too essential. Like, that's the whole thing. That's the whole power of strike. It's like, if it's so essential that them like not doing it for like a day or two, like bring the country to a halt, well, then maybe that's a lot of leverage for them.
Yeah.
So that's why they criminalized it. They're like, it's too much. Like, if the rail, like part of like the whole syndicalist thing is like you'd want like the rail workers, obviously in a general strike, to stop to be part of that.
I'd imagine the public sector is probably the most important jobs out of all of the.
Well, rail is private. Rail, like it's basically about taking out the money, like stopping the money flow.
Yeah. But the strike, the strike happened this morning. It's still continuing ongoing throughout the week. No one's going to class. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
They're literally they're like the. I don't know what this person's position is, but she's saying that the school's website says many classes will continue to be, and just no one's going. So they're just pure gaslighting.
Yeah, it's just some
pure
BS to pretend.
Coping. It is cope.
It's total cope. It's total cope.
It's 100% cope. Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Hopefully they get their demands. Hopefully they have a good union leadership who's not going to come back with like shitty contracts.
Yeah, I'm just proud, and I'm like, I'm happy to see that like a lot of their demands are like primarily like economic.
They're not even that crazy. They're not even
It's
that
not.
crazy.
It's not. And
37,000. 37,000. You still have to get a second job with 37,000.
Yeah. Like, do you remember the California university strikes last year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That I would put that on the same level as this.
Okay. I get
that's how big this college is. So,
good. And it's a public school, so that's good too. So the government's so fucking cheap. Oh, they'll pay the freaking who's the richest government employees are the freaking football coaches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They get like millions every year.
Millions.
So that's why
we're running about 3 hours now. So I think we got everything.
I think that's our record so far.
Yeah, that's our but we did hit a world record of alt angle stream time. That's
a good amount.
That's a lengthy. Yeah.
Lot to cover.
We might have to go on a little bit earlier.
I'm cool with that. So I am in Colorado, but I'd be cool again a little bit earlier. But
yeah.
But guys, like, share the content. Follow me on Twitter if you don't already. If you have ideas, have some scoops, send us a DM, whatever.
Yeah, of course. My handle is also there, Greg Midnight Crab. Our link, my link is in the description as well as for handles. Also, you're watching this here on the Indie News Network channel. We got a lot of stuff coming to you this week. Again, we got Jesse Jet tomorrow and Tara Reid on Friday. Indie News on Wednesday. Subscribe, like, share. We got consistent content coming out to you. And I hope you guys have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Peace. Peace out, Girl Scouts.